Chapter 13:19. Who gave you the courage to self-destruct? However, the seal smiled playfully, and its speed suddenly increased. It turned into a flash of light and instantly rushed in front of the middle-aged man. Although the seal's speed was not as fast as the thunder leopard, leopards were naturally faster than other beasts. Boom! It raised its sharp claws and directly reached for the middle-aged man's lower abdomen. Ah! The middle-aged man screamed as blood gushed out of his lower abdomen. The seal's entire claw sank into the middle-aged man's lower abdomen, and his sea of chi was shattered on the spot. The destructive aura also disappeared immediately. I've taken care of it. There's no need for you to do anything. The seal looked at Seahorse and the other beasts and said proudly. The group of 9-star emperor beasts stopped in the void and looked at the seal with admiration. Only Seahorse looked unhappy. That bastard stole the limelight again. Qin Feiyang released his emperor's aura and imprisoned the middle-aged man in the void. Then, he took a step forward and landed in front of the middle-aged man. He chuckled and said, "How do you feel? Don't be so smug. You can sneak into my Mu family silently. You're indeed capable, but you'll never be able to get out." The middle-aged man looked at Qin Feiyang and Lu Zheng with a sinister smile. "Do you think we're scared?" Lu Zheng smiled contemptuously. "You'll know soon enough whether I'm just scaring you or not." The middle-aged man sneered. "TSK." Lu Zheng's face was full of disdain. He walked in front of the middle-aged man and took the silver token from his arms. Qin Feiyang walked up and looked at the token curiously. He then looked down at the middle-aged man and said, "Answer a few of my questions, and I'll spare your life." "What questions?" the middle-aged man said. Qin Feiyang said, "Can this token open the doors of the other 9 stone towers? So you're here to find out the details of my Mu family. But I'm sorry, I don't know." The middle-aged man sneered. Qin Feiyang was not angry. He asked again, "How many false gods does your Mu family have?" "I don't know." The middle-aged man was still sneering. Qin Feiyang took a deep breath and looked at the seal. "Kill it. It's a pity to kill him just like that. Why don't we bring him to the castle and let Brother Wolf interrogate him?" Seal suggested. "It's impossible to force a confession out of someone like him. Let's not waste time." Qin Feiyang said. "Alas." Seal helplessly sighed. He glanced at the middle-aged man and coldly snorted, "Consider yourself lucky." After saying that, it swung its claws, and the middle-aged man's head exploded like a watermelon with a crack. Qin Feiyang waved his hand, and the middle-aged man's heaven-earth pouch flew toward him. Qin Feiyang grabbed it and looked at the seahorse and the seal, saying, "Take care of the body." After that, he took Lu Zheng to the castle. Lu Zheng weighed the silver token in his hand and said proudly, "Your cousin is smart, right? Not only did I avert danger, but I also obtained the key to open the stone tower." "Smart." Qin Feiyang laughed. No one could deny this point. Because if it were someone else today, and they were caught red-handed by the middle-aged man, they would definitely panic. In the end, they would definitely fall into the hands of the Mu family and die. However, Lu Zheng was able to come up with such a brilliant escape plan under such a pressing situation. It was hard not to admire him. However, whether this silver token could open the other 9 stone towers was still to be confirmed. He lowered his head and looked at the middle-aged man's heaven-earth pouch in his eyes and carefully looked through it. Perhaps there was something in it that could be used. But in the end, it ended in disappointment. In the heaven-earth pouch, except for some medicinal herbs, pills, gold coins, and daily necessities, he did not find anything valuable. He did find a cluster of alchemy fire, but it was only a 6th grade alchemy fire. The Nether Devil Flame had been upgraded to the 8th grade, so the 6th grade alchemy fire was of little significance to him. Now, only the 8th grade and 9th grade alchemy fire could arouse his interest. Since you didn't find anything, let's hurry to the other 9 stone towers and see if this token is useful. Lu Zheng said. Qin Feiyang nodded, put away the heaven-earth pouch, and drove the castle to the stone tower on the opposite mountain peak. At the same time, on an island in the endless sea, a purple-clothed woman sat cross-legged on a mountain peak, her eyes slightly closed, and her body exuded an ethereal aura. This was the aura of the false god. Mother. Suddenly, a pleasant voice rang out. Then, a woman in a long white dress appeared beside the purple-clothed woman. Her face was red, her teeth were white, and her eyes were bright. Her long dress was whiter than snow, and her soft black hair fluttered in the wind. Her figure was excellent, and her tender skin could be broken with a flick of a finger. She looked to be only 22 or 23 years old, and her face was beautiful, not inferior to Ren Wuxuang at all. Her every move, every frown, and every smile exuded a fatal temptation. The purple-clothed woman opened her eyes and looked up at the white-clothed woman, her eyes full of love, and asked with a smile, Wuxuang, what's wrong? The white-clothed woman said, Daughter just received news that 8 days ago, Qin Feiyang entered the central divine kingdom. The purple-clothed woman was stunned, suddenly stood up, and said angrily, Is this bastard crazy? Doesn't he know that the main tower and the Mu family are looking for him everywhere? Daughter also thinks that he is a bit too reckless. But it is said that he disappeared as soon as he entered the central divine kingdom. No one knows where he is now. The white-clothed woman said. The purple-clothed woman heaved a sigh of relief and said, As long as he is fine, it is good. But this brat, he came back and didn't send a message to us first. It is a bit too much. The woman looked quite angry. The white-clothed woman covered her mouth and smiled, saying, I am afraid that he still treats us as opponents. How can he send a message to us to tell us that he is safe? When the purple-clothed woman heard this, she couldn't help but smile bitterly. That's right. These 2 people were the mysterious madam and the young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house. The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house asked tentatively, Mother, why don't daughter send a message to ask him? Don't. As a junior, he didn't take the initiative to send a message to us and wanted us to take the initiative. What kind of scandal is this? I can't let go of my face. The mysterious madam said angrily. The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house laughed, Is face that important? Nonsense. If face isn't important, then what is? In short, if he doesn't take the initiative to send a message to us, we will pretend that we don't know. The mysterious madam snorted coldly. The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house smiled helplessly. The mysterious madam suddenly thought of something and asked the young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house, By the way, have those 2 old things left? No. They are still monitoring us on that island. The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house shook her head. How patient. The mysterious madam smiled coldly. Mother, we can't go on like this. Why don't we just get rid of them? The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house said, her beautiful eyes filled with killing intent. No need. The Mu family's foundation is very terrifying. Before we have absolute confidence, it is not appropriate to make a move against them. Moreover, your teacher is still imprisoned in the main tower. If we make a move now, the main tower will hear the news and interfere. That will be even more disadvantageous to us. The mysterious madam said solemnly. Teacher, the young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house murmured. At this moment, she was not wearing a veil on her face and was full of worry. She asked, Mother, when are we going to save teacher? Don't worry. As long as the divine crystal is still in our hands, the people of the main tower won't dare to hurt your teacher. The mysterious madam said. But, the young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house wanted to say something, but the mysterious madam waved her hand and said, All right, you can leave first. There are some things that I need to think about. Yes. The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house replied and could only helplessly turn around and leave. Wait. The mysterious madam suddenly looked at the young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house and said. The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house stopped and turned to look at her. She asked, Mother, is there anything else? The mysterious madam said, Now that you have stepped into the 9-star War Emperor, I hope that you can put aside your teacher's matter and focus on breaking through to the peak of the 9-star War Emperor, and then comprehend the profound meaning of becoming a god. I understand. The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house nodded and turned into a ray of light, disappearing into the horizon like lightning. And then there was Qin Feiyang. At this moment, he had already arrived in front of the stone tower. Through the screen, he saw that there was no one around, so he looked at Lu Zheng and said, Give me the token. Let me go. The people of the Mu family don't know me. Even if I am discovered, I can repeat the same trick. But you can't. Lu Zheng smiled proudly. There's nothing to be proud of, right? Qin Feiyang was speechless. With a wave of his hand, Lu Zheng appeared in front of the stone tower. Lu Zheng looked around vigilantly, then grabbed the token and faced the tower door, the battle chi surging in his palm. Whoosh! In the next moment, a silver beam of light shot out and merged into the tower door. Buzz! However, not only did the tower door not open, a black light screen suddenly appeared on the entire stone tower. This scene was exactly the same as when the Spirit Snake Emperor triggered the mechanism. Damn it! Little cousin, quickly pull me in. Lu Zheng's expression changed as he shouted in a low voice. Obviously, this silver token was unable to open the door of this stone tower. In other words, the keys of these 10 stone towers were independent and could not be used. In the castle, Qin Feiyang could not help but frown. The 10 stone towers all had different keys. This was a bit troublesome. Boom! Suddenly, the tower door opened. Qin Feiyang came back to his senses and hurriedly took Lu Zheng into the castle. Lu Zheng said angrily, What are you doing? Why did you wait so long to pull me in? Outside, he was about to go crazy. Because the mechanism had been triggered, someone would definitely come out to check. I'm thinking about something. Qin Feiyang said, looking at the tower door that was opening on the screen, his eyes flickering. Finally, the tower door was fully opened. A red-haired old man strode out and stood on the steps in front of the tower, scanning the void in front of him, his old eyes full of suspicion. Why is there no one? The red-haired old man murmured and was about to turn around and enter the stone tower. Swish! But at this time, the Mu family head came again, looking at the black light screen on the stone tower, and said in shock, What's going on? Someone should have triggered the mechanism, but when this old man came out, I didn't see anyone. The red-haired old man frowned. The Mu family head raised his eyebrows and murmured, Could it be that some beast accidentally broke in? But how could there be such a coincidence? Beast? Chapter 1320. The Mu family head said, Not long ago, something similar happened at Old Hai's stone tower. There's such a thing. The red-haired old man raised his eyebrows and pondered for a while before saying, Go and call Old Hai over. Okay. The Mu family head nodded, turned around and rushed to the stone tower. Lu Zheng said in a deep voice, They seem to be suspicious. Qin Feiyang said, With this kind of thing happening one after another, if it were me, I would also be suspicious. What should we do now? Lu Zheng asked. Wait and see. Qin Feiyang's eyes flickered. If there is no accident, this trip to the Mu family should end here. Moreover, he couldn't sense any aura from this red-haired old man. He was probably a peak 9-star combat emperor. Whoosh! Soon, the Mu family head and Old Hai flew over. Old Hai looked at the red-haired old man and asked suspiciously, "Old Fong, why did you call me over?" The red-haired old man said, "I heard from the master that something strange happened at your stone tower not long ago." "Yes. It was a green snake that triggered the mechanism." Old Hai nodded and asked, "Is there a problem?" The red-haired old man said, "The mechanism here was triggered by someone just now, but when I came out to check, I didn't see anyone." Old Hai was stunned. The red-haired old man said, "If it was only once, I would believe that some fierce beasts accidentally broke in and triggered the mechanism, but now it happened a second time. Is this a coincidence? You mean someone is playing tricks in the dark?" Old Hai was surprised. "I don't know if there's anyone playing tricks in the dark. But I have a feeling that this matter is not so simple. It's necessary to investigate." The red-haired old man scanned the void, his old eyes flashing with a cold light. Gong Sun Bei said, "This old man is a bit difficult to deal with." Qin Feiyang nodded. The red-haired old man suddenly retracted his gaze and turned to look at the tower, shouting, "All 8-star combat emperors and 9-star combat emperors, come out immediately." Whoosh! Immediately. Stone doors opened one after another as silhouettes rushed out from the cultivation rooms and gathered in front of the stone tower. They bowed and greeted, "Greetings, Elder Fong, Elder Hai, and Patriarch." The Mujia's lord said, "Go and look around, see if there are any suspicious people." "No. Search the entire sacred mountain. If you see anyone suspicious, arrest them immediately. Also, check if there are any ferocious beasts like the green snake in the sacred mountain." The red-haired old man said. "Yes." The group of people responded respectfully and spread out in all directions to conduct a carpet search. Inside the castle, Lu Zheng scanned the backs of those people and said in a deep voice, "Another 358-star combat emperors and 109-star combat emperors. It seems like the situation in these 10 stone pagodas is similar." Gong Sun Bei looked at Qin Feiyang and said, "Let's go to the 10th floor and see if there are any peak 9-star combat emperors." Qin Feiyang nodded and steered the castle into the stone pagoda silently, heading straight for the 10th floor. The layout here was exactly the same as the stone pagoda where Elder Hai was. There were 50 cultivation rooms on each floor. 10 floors, a total of 500. Soon, the castle entered the 10th floor. It was the same as the stone pagoda where Elder Hai was. There was no aura. But in the corridor, there were a few old men standing there, talking about something. These old men were very old, with white hair and no aura. However, they gave Qin Feiyang and the other two a great sense of crisis. Obviously, they were all peak 9-star combat emperor realm experts. Suddenly, another stone door opened. An old woman in a black robe walked out and looked at the old men. She asked suspiciously, "What happened outside?" One of the white-haired old men smiled and said, "It seems that someone has triggered the mechanism outside the stone pagoda. Elder Fong has already sent people to investigate. There should be no need for us to do anything." "I see." The old woman in a black robe nodded in realization. She then returned to the cultivation room and closed the stone door directly. Looking at this scene, Qin Feiyang and the other two's hearts were heavy. Although they did not see everyone on the 10th floor, it was obvious that there was a super expert in each cultivation room. Now, they could finally be sure that the situation in the 10-stone pagoda was the same. 10-stone pagoda, 5,000 cultivation rooms. Among them, 3,508-star combat emperors. 1,009-star combat emperors. 500 peak 9-star combat emperors. I really didn't know if I didn't investigate. Now that I did, I was shocked. Gong Sun Bei looked at Qin Feiyang and the other two with a bitter smile on his face. Qin Feiyang also shook his head with a bitter smile and said, "I just don't know how many false gods there are. Lu Jing said, to be honest, even if the Mu family only has two false gods, the white-robed old man and Yiglao, we can't let our guard down. Why? Gongsun Bei looked at him in confusion. Think about it, these 500 peak 9-star combat emperors are basically comprehending the profound meaning of becoming a true god. Maybe a few false gods will be born one day. Maybe there will even be false gods born tomorrow. Lu Jing said. Hearing this, Gongsun Bei suddenly felt as if there was a big stone pressing down on his heart. It was heavy. Lu Jing is right, these peak 9-star combat emperors are a potential threat to us. If there is a chance, it's best to get rid of them as soon as possible. Qin Feiyang controlled the ancient castle and flew to the first floor while saying in a deep voice, the murderous intent in his words was bone-chilling. Hearing Qin Feiyang's words, Gongsun Bei lowered his head and pondered. The ancient castle silently flew out of the stone pagoda. Elder Fang, Elder Hai, and the Mu family's patriarch were still there. At this moment, Gongsun Bei's eyes flashed coldly. He looked up and glanced at the three patriarchs and said, if you are sure that the Mu family only has two false gods, the white-robed old man and Yiglao, my main pagoda can take action. Qin Feiyang was stunned and asked hurriedly, really? Gongsun Bei nodded. They can't let the Mu family continue to grow, otherwise, the consequences will be unimaginable. Lu Jing frowned and said, I'm afraid that even your main pagoda may not be able to destroy the Mu family. After all, the white-robed old man is a peak false god. Gongsun Bei said, even if we can't destroy the Mu family, we can still make them suffer a great loss. Yes. We can change our target. Let's not care about anything else, just kill the people in these 10-stone pagodas. Qin Feiyang said. Lu Zheng's eyes lit up, he nodded and said, if that's the case, it shouldn't be a big problem, but we must succeed in one blow. Otherwise, when the Mu family's people react, all our efforts will be in vain. Let me think about it. Qin Feiyang walked to the side, leaned his back against the wall, and lowered his head to ponder. Lu Zheng and Gongsun Bei looked at Qin Feiyang and pondered in their hearts. Inside the ancient castle, it gradually fell into a dead silence. Chapter 13:21. After a long time, Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed. He looked up at Gongsun Bei and asked, how many false gods do you have in your tower now? Well, Gongsun Bei hesitated. Qin Feiyang said, I have to know the foundation of your tower so that I can make a plan. Gongsun Bei gritted his teeth and said, 3. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed. He asked, are they the 3 people guarding the land of inheritance? Yes. Gongsun Bei nodded. Qin Feiyang said, but I seem to remember that one of them is the mysterious lady's man. The person he was talking about was the teacher of the young lady of the Dragon Phoenix Pavilion. At first, he wondered why this old man would secretly help him in the land of inheritance. It was not until later that he found out that it was the mysterious lady's order. Yes. This person is now imprisoned in the Sword Peak. And now, another person is guarding the land of inheritance in his place. You know this person, too. Gongsun Bei said. Who? Qin Feiyang was surprised. Gongsun Bei said, Deputy Pavilion Master of the Exchange Pavilion. Deputy Pavilion Master. Qin Feiyang's expression froze. Li He broke through to the false god realm so quickly. The current Deputy Pavilion Master of the Exchange Pavilion was Li He. Li He. Gongsun Bei was stunned and smiled bitterly. It's my fault for not making it clear. He's the previous Deputy Pavilion Master. The previous Deputy Pavilion Master. Qin Feiyang was stunned, and his gaze suddenly trembled as he said in surprise, if I remember correctly, he gave up the position of Vice Pavilion Master because his time was up. How could he be a fake god? Speaking of which, he was lucky. Just half a month ago, when he was about to die, he suddenly comprehended the profound meaning of becoming a true god and successfully became a false god. His lifespan was also extended. Gong Sun Bei smiled. I see. Qin Feiyang was enlightened. He smiled and said, back then, during the Vice Pavilion Master Succession ceremony, although he was nearing the end of his lifespan, there wasn't the slightest bit of fear on his face. I still remember telling him that I admired his temperament. However, I didn't expect that when he returned to the Central Divine Nation, he had already stepped into the false god realm. Yes. We didn't expect him to comprehend the profound meaning of becoming a true god. However, his ascension to godhood is a joyous occasion for our main pagoda. Gong Sun Bei smiled. Of course. Who doesn't want a true god realm true god? Qin Feiyang muttered. He wanted to become a true god more than anyone else. Although he had been a god realm, he could only relying on strategy, for example, the empire. Qin Feiyang used Zhuge Shenfeng and Zhuge Mingyang to restrain the imperial advisor, and then used the imperial advisor to restrain the emperor. It was the same when he came to the Forgotten Continent. He used the Mu family to restrain the Master Tower, and then used the Master Tower to deal with the Mu family. In short, now, he was relying on his brain to move between the various forces. This situation was not a problem in the short term, but in the long run, he might be played to death. But if he also had a few false gods around him, the situation would be completely different. Because in this way, he would have the real capital to confront these giants head-on. I've already told you what you want to know. Are you going to tell me about your plan now? Gong Sun Bei asked. Qin Feiyang pondered for a while and shook his head with a smile. I can't tell you for now, but please believe me. As long as you do as I say, I can destroy the 10 stone towers and kill everyone inside. As he spoke, the coldness in his eyes was undisguised. Gong Sun Bei asked, then what do you want me to do? Qin Feiyang said, send a message to the Master Tower and ask the 3 false gods to come, but don't enter the Mu family directly. Hide outside the entrance and wait for my orders. Gong Sun Bei looked at Qin Feiyang, his eyes flickering. What are you still worried about? Are you afraid that I will plot against your Master Tower? Don't worry, this time our target is only the Mu family. I won't plot against anyone in your Master Tower. And, if you follow my plan, maybe you can get rid of the 9 false gods of the Mu family. Qin Feiyang smiled. Really? Gong Sun Bei was overjoyed. I just said maybe, I didn't say I'm sure. Because many things will not develop as smoothly as we think. There will always be accidents. Qin Feiyang said lightly. Okay. Gong Sun Bei gritted his teeth and nodded. I will send a message to the Master Tower immediately, but I want to talk to him alone. Deep in his eyes, there was a flash of light. Alone? Qin Feiyang was taken aback. He chuckled and said, Brother Gong Sun, you're not being honest. What do you mean? Gong Sun Bei raised his eyebrows. During this period, we have repeatedly mentioned the ancient tower, plus I took Wang Xiaojie and the others to the ancient tower. In the face of so many abnormal behaviors, a smart person like you must have thought that I have a second spatial divine artifact. You must have also thought that my real trump card is not in the castle, but in the ancient tower. So now, you are very eager to go in and have a look, but you can't find a good reason. So, when I proposed to send a message to the Master Tower, you came up with a plan and found an excuse to send a message to the Master Tower alone. And now, Old Hai, Old Fong, and the Mu family's head are outside. I certainly can't send you out, so where can I send you? Naturally, I can only send you to your ancient tower. Brother Gong Sun, may I ask if I'm right? Qin Feiyang joked. Gong Sun Bei's heart skipped a beat. Can this kid read minds? He guessed it all right. Qin Feiyang said, Brother Gong Sun, actually, with our relationship, there is no need to do this. If you want to go in, just say it. Gong Sun Bei raised his eyebrows and said, you can say that here, but don't say it in front of the Master Tower. Otherwise, he will definitely be suspicious. Suspect what? Suspect that you betrayed him. If this sentence really makes him suspect that you betrayed him, then it means that he doesn't trust you at all. What's the point of following a person who doesn't trust you? Qin Feiyang said. You really don't let go of any opportunity. Gongsun Bei shook his head helplessly. Qin Feiyang clearly wanted him to betray him again. Can't help it. Who told you to attract me so much? Qin Feiyang smiled faintly and waved his hand to bring Gongsun Bei to the ancient tower. So big? Looking at the space inside the ancient tower, Gongsun Bei was stunned. Is this still a spatial divine artifact? It's clearly a real world. Qin Feiyang shouted, Seahorse, Seal, come over immediately. Whoosh! Before his voice faded away, the two beasts rushed out from the mountain stream and landed in front of Qin Feiyang like lightning. Qin Feiyang said, Brother Gongsun is my guest. You two accompany him well. Don't neglect him at all. The two beasts glanced at Gongsun Bei and smiled, understood. Gongsun Bei's face twitched. It was obvious that the two beasts were monitoring him, but he still called him a guest. What a hypocrite. Brother Gongsun, have a good chat with the Master Tower. This little brother won't disturb you. Qin Feiyang smiled and disappeared without a trace. What a troublesome kid. Gongsun Bei sighed and looked around the mountain range. This place was far from the village and the herb field, so he didn't see anything except the beasts. There must be people here. But where are these people? Gongsun Bei murmured. At the same time, the seahorse and seal exchanged a glance, and a sinister smile appeared on their faces. Seahorse smiled and asked, Brother Gongsun, why don't we show you around? Can we? Gongsun Bei was stunned and asked calmly. Of course. The seahorse hurriedly nodded. Then, please lead the way. Gongsun Bei smiled. We're family. Why are you being so polite? We'll get angry if you continue to be so polite. The two beasts said unhappily and led Gongsun Bei to the mountain range opposite the village. Brother Gongsun, look at the mountain over there. It's so tall and majestic. And that river. It's so clear. Let me tell you, there are a lot of fish in there. Those fish are all wild. They taste great. Brother Gongsun, look over there. Isn't that tree huge? I don't think even a dozen people can surround it. As the two beasts flew, they introduced each other. They were beaming with joy and their saliva splattered everywhere. However, the things they introduced were all insignificant. Gongsun Bei frowned. The seal suddenly pointed down and saw an eagle circling in the sky. How common was an eagle? But the seal looked as if it had never seen it before and said, Brother Gongsun, look. That chicken is so beautiful. Seahorse rolled its eyes and said, Junior Leopard, what's wrong with your eyes? Is that a chicken? It's obviously an eagle. Is it an eagle? But why does it look like a chicken to me? Seal sized up Old Eagle, his eyes full of suspicion. Then, he said with certainty, I'm sure that's a chicken. Maybe it's because it's mutated and looks different from other chickens. Seahorse was stunned and looked at the eagle. You're right. This is the first time I've seen a mutated chicken. Gongsun Bei's face darkened when he saw the two beasts' expressions and heard their conversation. These two bastards were simply toying with him. He suppressed his anger and said, Stay away from me. I have something to do. How can we do that? Boss Qin told us to keep you company. The two beasts were stunned and quickly looked at Gongsun Beidao with a hint of mockery in their eyes. Get lost! Gongsun Bei shouted. The two beasts were in a difficult position. Seeing Gongsun Bei's face getting uglier, Seahorse said helplessly, All right. You're Boss Qin's guest. We'll listen to you. Yes. We don't want to be scolded by Boss Qin. We'll wait for you over there. When you're done, we'll continue to show you around. The two beasts flew across the sky like lightning and landed on a mountain peak dozens of miles away. They watched Gong Sun Bei and whispered to each other. Their eyes were full of evil smiles. Bastard! Gong Sun Bei cursed and took out a video crystal to send a message to the Chief Tower Master. Chapter 1322. Who did you send a message to? Lu Zheng looked at Qin Feiyang suspiciously. Qin Feiyang smiled and said, an old friend. We need her help to complete this plan. Old friend? Lu Zheng frowned and said in surprise, it can't be that mysterious lady you mentioned, right? It's her. It's also because I want to find her that I asked Gong Sun Bei to go to the ancient pagoda. Because there are some things that he can't know. Qin Feiyang's eyes flickered. Gong Sun Bei sending a message to the Chief Tower Master alone was just an excuse to go to the ancient pagoda, but he really wanted to send Gong Sun Bei away. Lu Zheng said, then if you let Gong Sun Bei go to the ancient pagoda, won't the people in the village be exposed? Don't worry. I've already informed Seahorse and Seal. He'll never find the village. Qin Feiyang smiled. Lu Zheng shook his head and laughed. Buzz. Not long later. A beautiful figure appeared. It was the young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house. At this moment, she was wearing a pale golden dress that accentuated her graceful figure. Her skin was as soft as water, and her black hair was like a waterfall. Her eyes were lively, and she had the charm of a mature woman. But her face was covered with a veil. Why is it you? When she saw Qin Feiyang, the young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house pretended to be surprised. Her voice was like the sound of nature, extremely pleasant to the ear. She's that mysterious lady. She doesn't look that old. Lu Zheng curiously sized up the young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house. She's the daughter of the mysterious lady. She's extremely powerful. Before I returned to the Great Qin Empire, she was already an 8-star combat emperor. And now, although the aura she exudes isn't strong, she's definitely already a 9-star combat emperor. Qin Feiyang thought to himself. So powerful. Lu Zheng was shocked. Qin Feiyang nodded, looked at the young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house, and said with a faint smile, can you stop pretending? You mother and daughter are so resourceful. How could you not know that I've come to the Forgotten Continent? Ah. The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house was stunned. Then she chuckled and asked, why are you looking for me? He's not looking for you. I'm looking for your mother. Qin Feiyang said. Looking for mother? The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house was stunned for a moment before she teased, my mother might not want to see you now. Qin Feiyang said. She will definitely see me because I am now in the Mujia's nest. What? The Miss of Longfeng House's expression changed abruptly, and she said angrily, why did you run to the Mu family's lair? Don't you know it's a very dangerous place? It's precisely because it's dangerous that I'm asking for your help. Qin Feiyang smiled. Asking for help? The young lady of Longfeng Pavilion frowned and snorted coldly. If you really reached the point where you had to ask us for help, would you still be able to laugh now? It's not like you don't know me. I've always been like this. The more desperate the situation, the more relaxed and calm I become. Qin Feiyang said. Cut the crap. Why did you sneak into the Mu family? And who told you the location of the Mu family? The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house said. I'll answer you slowly later. Go find your mother first. I have something important to discuss with her. Qin Feiyang said. The young lady of Longfeng Pavilion raised her eyebrows, and the phantom image disappeared. Lu Zheng retracted his gaze and looked at Qin Feiyang, asking, is this woman beautiful? What do you mean? Don't tell me you've taken a fancy to her again. I should have known that you're a playboy. You fall in love with every woman you see. Qin Feiyang snorted coldly. Let me tell you, don't slander me. I only have Hong Er in my heart. I asked if she was beautiful purely for your sake. Lu Zheng said. For my sake. Qin Feiyang was stunned. Think about it. If you can marry her, won't her mother immediately become your mother-in-law? Lu Zheng chuckled, his smile extremely wretched. Are you asking me to be a gigolo? Qin Feiyang frowned. Don't make it sound so bad. This is called sharing resources. Besides, you can marry a beautiful girl and also find a powerful backer. Killing two birds with one stone. What's wrong with being a gigolo? Others don't even have the chance. Lu Zheng continued to instigate. Can you be any more shameless? Qin Feiyang rolled his eyes. He was really a genius to be able to come up with such a rotten idea. Buzz. Soon. The image crystal rang. Watch your mouth. Don't talk nonsense. Qin Feiyang glared at Lu Zheng and activated the image crystal. The phantom images of the young lady of Longfeng Pavilion and the mysterious lady immediately appeared. You still know to send me a message. This was the first sentence that the mysterious lady said. She looked rather unhappy. What do you mean? Qin Feiyang was stunned. That's not right. Didn't little cousin say that this woman has a deep hatred for him? Why does she seem to care about him now? Lu Zheng muttered secretly. The mysterious lady's attitude was completely like an elder reprimanding Qin Feiyang. What was the relationship between these two people? Looking at the expressions of Qin Feiyang and Lu Zheng, the mysterious lady also realized that she had lost her composure. She pointed at Lu Zheng and asked, Who is he? He's my cousin. Qin Feiyang said. Cousin? The mysterious lady was stunned and asked, Someone from the Lu family? How do you know about the Lu family? Lu Zheng was shocked. Qin Feiyang was also surprised. Why did he feel that this woman knew everything in the world? Not bad. Even the Lu family is here. Tell me, why did you sneak into the Mu family? The mysterious lady asked with a playful smile. To find out the details of the Mu family. Qin Feiyang didn't hide anything. How's the investigation? The mysterious lady asked. Very strong. Qin Feiyang said. Since you know, why don't you leave quickly? The mysterious lady said angrily. Qin Feiyang smiled and said, It's not easy to sneak into the Mu family. Wouldn't it be a loss to leave like this? The mysterious lady's eyes narrowed slightly and asked with interest, Then tell me, what are you planning? What? Qin Feiyang smiled helplessly and said, Can you not say it like that? I just want to suppress the arrogance of the Mu family. How could you send me a message for no reason? It turns out that you have a favor to ask of me. The mysterious lady laughed. Qin Feiyang said, Then tell me, will you help me or not? Yes. I will definitely help. After all, the Mu family is also my enemy. It's also pleasing to see the Mu family suffer. But, how do you want me to help you? The mysterious lady said. Qin Feiyang secretly rejoiced and said, Before I tell you my plan, I want to ask first, is there anyone from the Mu family monitoring you in the endless sea? Don't you already have the answer in your heart? Why are you still asking me? Hurry up and tell me your plan, don't waste time. The mysterious lady said impatiently. Sure enough. Qin Feiyang whispered. Mu Qing has already calculated the location of the mysterious lady, but she didn't tell the tower. Qin Feiyang said, Don't worry, answer me first, who is monitoring you in the endless sea? The mysterious lady said, Yiglao and the ancestor of the Mu family. It turned out to be these two old things. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed with murderous intent and asked, Just the two of them? The mysterious lady nodded. That's good. Wait for a while, you go and kill them. Qin Feiyang said. Kill them? The mother and daughter looked at each other, the corners of their mouths kept twitching. What is this bastard thinking? Does he think that Yiglao is an ordinary person? Can he kill him? I know it's difficult. However, it's not necessary to kill them. What I need is for you to lead the other fake gods of the Mu family to the Endless Sea. Qin Feiyang said. In fact, his plan is very simple. Let the mysterious lady attack Yiglao in the Endless Sea. When Yiglao is defeated, he will naturally ask the Mu family for help. When the time comes, the old man in the white robe will definitely rush to the rescue. In this way, he can cooperate with the fake gods of the tower to destroy the 10 stone towers. And he can also take the opportunity to loot the Mu family's medicinal field. In short, once this plan succeeds, then this time, Qin Feiyang will be the biggest winner. Because he won't share the Mu family's medicinal field with anyone. He wants to keep it all to himself. Lead the fake gods of the Mu family to the Endless Sea, and you can do whatever you want in the Mu family. This is a good idea. But tell me, what can I get? The mysterious lady said. Don't you have a grudge against the Mu family? I'm doing this to help you solve your enemy. What else do you want? Qin Feiyang frowned. According to what you said, shouldn't I be grateful to you? The mysterious lady's eyes were cold. Qin Feiyang smiled. Don't be grateful. After all, we are old friends. It's no big deal to help you. Don't play dumb with me. Do you think I don't know what you're planning? You want us to fight with the fake gods of the Mu family in the Endless Sea, while you take the opportunity to loot the Mu family's medicinal field. I know the Mu family's medicinal field. It's enough to make anyone crazy. So, if you want me to help you, you have to share some with me. The mysterious lady said. Qin Feiyang was helpless. This woman is too smart. Nothing can be hidden from her. Qin Feiyang asked. How do you want to share it? 3 and 7. 7 for me, 3 for you. The mysterious lady said. Why don't you just rob them? I risked my life to sneak into the Mu family and only got 30%. Do you think it's possible? Qin Feiyang said angrily. These are all nonsense. You have the castle, who can do anything to you? It can be said that no one is safer than you. And I am the most dangerous one. Because fighting with the fake gods of the Mu family, I may lose my life at any time. In other words, I'm playing with my life with you. Of course, I'll take the bigger share. The mysterious lady coldly snorted. Qin Feiyang's face was gloomy. In the end, he gritted his teeth and said. 50-50, this is my bottom line. The mysterious lady frowned and nodded. Okay, 50-50 it is. But now, there are 2 things that make me worried. What is it? Qin Feiyang was surprised. There are not many things that can make this woman worry. First, we don't know how many fake gods there are in the Mu family. The second is the tower. If the battle breaks out and the people in the tower notice, then I'm afraid I will be attacked like last time. Chapter 13:23. Even you don't know how many fake gods there are in the Mu family. Qin Feiyang was shocked. Yes. Ever since the Mu family came to the Forgotten Continent, they have been holed up in their nest, conserving their strength. Now that 10,000 years have passed, it's hard to imagine how much they have grown. Also, no one knows if the Mu family has given birth to any new fake gods in the past 10,000 years. Mysterious Madam said worriedly. Qin Feiyang frowned. Originally, he thought Mysterious Madam knew and was about to ask, but he didn't expect that this woman didn't know either. Qin Feiyang asked, when the Mu family first came to the Forgotten Continent, how many fake gods did they have? 2. One of them was the old man in white. Mysterious Madam said. Qin Feiyang said, the other fake god is Yiglao? No. Yiglao became a real god later. Mysterious Madam said. This, Qin Feiyang's face suddenly changed. That is to say, in addition to the old man in white, there is another giant hidden in the Mu family. Who is he? What is the difference in strength between him and the old man in white? Qin Feiyang asked. Back then, his strength was on par with the old man in white. After 10,000 years, the old man in white has stepped into the peak of the fake god realm, and if he is still alive, he will not be weaker than the old man in white. Mysterious Madam said in a deep voice. Still alive? Qin Feiyang was stunned, and asked suspiciously, what do you mean? Ever since that battle, he hasn't appeared again. So now, I can't be sure whether he's dead or alive. If he's really dead, that would be a joyous occasion. Mysterious Madam snorted. That battle? Back then, you fought with them? Qin Feiyang was surprised. Yes. Mysterious Madam nodded. Then what's the reason for your fight? Who won and who lost in the end? Qin Feiyang asked. Mysterious Madam frowned, and said, are these questions related to the plan this time? It doesn't matter. Qin Feiyang smiled. Then why did you ask? The mysterious lady said angrily. Qin Feiyang smiled and said, although I don't know how many fake gods the Mu family has, I still want to try. You're really not afraid of death? The mysterious lady was speechless. Who in this world isn't afraid of death? But it depends on how he dies. It would be best if this plan succeeds, but if it doesn't, at the very least, we'll be able to lure out all of the fake divinities hiding in the dark. As long as we know the Mu family's true strength, we will have full confidence the next time we make a move. Qin Feiyang smiled. That makes sense. The mysterious lady nodded. Qin Feiyang said, as for the main tower, you don't have to worry about it at all. Are you sure? The mysterious lady was surprised. Yes. Gongsun Bei is with me right now. Qin Feiyang said. What? You mean, you are cooperating with the main tower? The mysterious lady was bewildered. Yes. But don't worry, we're just in a cooperative relationship. Qin Feiyang smiled. You brat, you're really something. But I don't understand, why would the main tower agree to cooperate with you to deal with the Mu family? He knows the Mu family's background. And he has some kind of unknown relationship with the Mu family. It stands to reason that he should help the Mu family to eradicate you, right? The mysterious lady's face was full of suspicion. Qin Feiyang's pupils shrank, and he hurriedly said, wait, you said the main tower knows the details of the Mu family? Yes. The mysterious lady nodded. Qin Feiyang said, then why doesn't Gongsun Bei know? Not long ago, I specifically asked Gongsun Bei. Who is the main tower? How could he tell these secrets to Gongsun Bei? Even the fake gods of the main tower, as well as the senior figures like Wang Su, are kept in the dark. The mysterious lady smiled coldly. Then how do you know so clearly? Qin Feiyang said. It has nothing to do with you. The mysterious lady said. Qin Feiyang said helplessly, then what secrets do the main tower and the Mu family have? It has nothing to do with you. The mysterious lady said. Don't be like this, okay? I really have a lot of doubts now. Since the main tower knows the details of the Mu family, why didn't the main tower ask the Mu family for the potential pill? Qin Feiyang frowned. Who doesn't want the potential pill? But do you think the Mu family will give it to him? Let me tell you, the Mu family has something on him, and he doesn't dare to ask the Mu family for it. Wait. Something on him, speaking of this. The mysterious lady seemed to think of something, and a touch of surprise climbed up on her face. Huh, I see. Suddenly. The mysterious lady laughed, a little crazy. What do you mean? Qin Feiyang looked at her suspiciously. This was the first time he saw this woman lose her composure. As I said just now, the Mu family has something on the main tower. And this weakness is enough to destroy his reputation. This time, he probably saw your ability and felt that you have the confidence to get rid of the Mu family, so he agreed to cooperate with you. And as long as the people of the Mu family are dead, then this thing on him can be buried in the ground forever. The mysterious lady smiled, but her smile was a little gloomy. The more Qin Feiyang listened, the more surprised he became. What kind of evidence could cause the chief pagoda master to lose all standing and reputation? The mysterious lady's eyes flashed with murderous intent, and she asked, "Do we act now?" "Wait first. When we can act, I will send you a message." After Qin Feiyang finished speaking, he turned off the image crystal. Lu Jing glanced at the disappearing shadow of the mysterious lady and looked at Qin Feiyang. "You're not really going to split it with her, are you? Is it possible?" Qin Feiyang sneered. "I knew it. Even I, your cousin, can't get any benefits from you, let alone an outsider," Lu Jing said, with a trace of dissatisfaction in his eyes. Qin Feiyang looked at him speechlessly and entered the ancient tower. He immediately saw the seahorse and the seal around Gongsun Bei, talking about something happily. Gongsun Bei, on the other hand, had a cold face. If one looked carefully, they would find that the blue veins on his forehead had been twitching. Obviously. He was about to reach his limit when it came to the seahorse and the seal. "How is it?" Qin Feiyang walked up and asked with a smile. Gongsun Bei turned to look at Qin Feiyang and said, "The main tower master has agreed. The 3 fake gods are on the way, but he has a condition." Qin Feiyang was stunned and asked, "What condition?" Gongsun Bei said, "If the plan fails, the Mu family's head must be captured alive and brought to the main tower." "Capture the Mu family's head alive," Qin Feiyang murmured. "Why is that? Could it be that the main tower master is worried that the Mu family will reveal that secret to the world after falling out with them, so he wants to capture the Mu family's head alive and use it as a bargaining chip?" Gongsun Bei said again, "The main tower master also said that if you can't do it, the plan will be cancelled." Qin Feiyang narrowed his eyes. His previous guess should be right. The main tower master is afraid that the Mu family will reveal that secret. It seems that the situation of the Forgotten Continent is more complicated than he thought. "Can you do it?" Seeing Qin Feiyang silent, Gongsun Bei frowned. "Of course. I can do it." Qin Feiyang laughed. Chapter 1324. Next. The two of them discussed the details and returned to the ancient castle. At this time, the Mu family members who went out to search returned one after another. "How was it?" the Mu family head asked. A middle-aged man said, "We searched inside and outside the sacred mountain, but we didn't find anyone suspicious." "What about the green snake?" Fong Lao asked. Someone said, "We found a lot of green snakes, but most of them didn't have intelligence, so we couldn't get anything out of them. It seems that some beasts that didn't have intelligence accidentally broke in and triggered the mechanism." Fong Lao whispered and secretly sighed in relief. The Mu family head looked at Fong Lao and smiled. "Actually, I also think that you're overthinking. After all, we have the protection of the barrier. Who has the ability to sneak in without anyone noticing? It's better to be safe than sorry." Fong Lao faintly smiled and glanced at everyone. He waved his hand and said, "Since you didn't find anything, then let's go back." Everyone nodded and entered the stone tower one after another. The Mu family head and Old Hai looked at each other and smiled, then turned and flew away. False alarm. Inside the ancient castle. Gongsun Bei smiled. Qin Feiyang's eyes flickered as he controlled the ancient castle and flew towards the herb field. "Where are we going?" Gongsun Bei was suspicious. "Just wait and see." Qin Feiyang mysteriously smiled. Buzz. At this time, Gongsun Bei's image crystal buzzed. He took out the image crystal and the image of a black-clothed old man quickly condensed. It was the former deputy pavilion master of the trading pavilion. Qin Feiyang looked at him while controlling the ancient castle. Back then, this person's body was bent, his breath was weak, and his eyes were dim. But now, his old body was extremely strong. His breath was also very strong. And his eyes were like two sharp blades, giving people a bone-piercing sharpness. Little friend, long time no see. The deputy pavilion master was also looking at Qin Feiyang with a smile on his face. But in his heart, he was extremely shocked. He didn't expect Qin Feiyang to have broken through to a 2-star combat emperor so quickly. At this speed, it wouldn't take long for him to catch up with these old antiques. It hasn't been that long. Qin Feiyang smiled. For you, it hasn't been that long. But for this old man, before I make a breakthrough to the semi-divinity realm, every day feels like a year. The vice pavilion master said. Isn't the bitterness over and the sweetness over now? Qin Feiyang said. The vice pavilion master chuckled and said, let's catch up when we have time. Let's deal with business first. Qin Feiyang nodded and asked, where are you now? The vice pavilion master said, we'll be right outside the entrance, waiting for orders. Is there anyone guarding the entrance? Qin Feiyang said. Yes. There's more than one. The vice pavilion master said. How many? Qin Feiyang frowned. 5. They are all 9-star battle emperors. The vice pavilion master said. Qin Feiyang smiled and said, if it's just a 9-star battle emperor, it's not enough for you guys to warm up. The vice pavilion master smiled and didn't say anything, but his face was full of confidence. Qin Feiyang shook his head and smiled. All right then, you guys hide there first and wait for our news. The vice pavilion master nodded, and the phantom quickly dissipated. Soon, Qin Feiyang drove the ancient castle and arrived above the herb field again. Wait for me. Qin Feiyang turned his head and said to Gongsun Bei. Then, he entered the ancient tower and took out the image crystal. Buzz. The phantom of the young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house immediately appeared. We can begin. Qin Feiyang said, his eyes shining. Got it. You be careful too. The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house reminded him. Okay. Qin Feiyang nodded, then put away the image crystal and returned to the ancient castle. He looked at Lu Zheng and smiled. Are there any armchairs? Of course. Lu Zheng waved his hand, and 3 armchairs appeared. The 2 of them sat on them. You sit too. Lu Zheng looked at Gongsun Bei and smiled. Then, he took out 2 wine jugs from his Qinkuan bag and looked at Qin Feiyang. Little cousin, do you want some? Of course. Qin Feiyang grinned and took a wine jug. Then, the 2 of them lay on the armchairs, drinking leisurely while watching the old man in the white robe on the screen. There was no tension at all. This scene left Gongsun Bei in a daze. But the next moment, he became angry and shouted, what are you doing? Do you know what the situation is now? You're still in the mood to drink? Lu Zheng smiled and said, no matter what you do, you have to be calm and take it step by step. Qin Feiyang nodded and said, that's right. Haste makes waste. Gongsun Bei's face was filled with anger. But Qin Feiyang and Gongsun Bei only cared about drinking and ignored him. In the end, Gongsun Bei was no longer angry. He sat down beside the 2 of them and said with a sullen face, is there any more wine? You can have as much as you want. Lu Zheng grinned, took out a wine jug, and threw it to Gongsun Bei. Humph, I want to see what tricks you guys are playing. Gongsun Bei snorted through his nose, grabbed the wine pot, raised his head, and took a big gulp. At the same time, endless sea. Mother, Qin Feiyang has news. We can take action now. On the peak of the mountain. The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house looked at the mysterious lady and said. The mysterious lady opened her eyes, and two cold lights burst out. She stood up and looked at the young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house, saying, Don't worry about this matter. Focus on cultivating in seclusion. Teacher is trapped in the sword edge, how can I cultivate in peace? The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house sighed. The mysterious lady said helplessly, Child, you are full of good points, but you are too emotional. Isn't that good? I know, but all these years, it was teacher who accompanied me and took care of me. He even raised me. And you? Although you gave birth to me, have you ever taken care of me? No. So, in terms of feelings, my feelings for teacher are deeper than yours. Teacher is my family, and I can't bear to part with him. The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house said, her words filled with sadness. The mysterious lady fell silent and looked at the young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house with a complicated expression. After a long time, she patted the young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house on the shoulder and said apologetically, Child, it's all Mother's fault. Mother has let you down. The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house said, I don't want to be sorry. I just want you to save teacher. Okay. I'll go and rescue your teacher later. The mysterious lady smiled. Really? The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house asked. When have I ever lied to you? The mysterious lady shook her head and smiled, asking, Do you know why I agreed to cooperate with Qin Feiyang this time? Why? The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house was curious. It's because I want to save your teacher. This time, the fake gods of the main tower have all gone to the Mu family. The strongest people in the main tower now are Wang Su and the other elders. With their strength, can they stop me? The mysterious lady smiled. I see. The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house suddenly understood. Actually, this time, we have joined forces with the main tower and Qin Feiyang to deal with the Mu family. We all have our own plans. The only difference is, who will be the big winner this time? The mysterious lady said. Then who does Mother think will be the big winner in the end? The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house asked. Of course it's us. First, we can take the opportunity to save your teacher. Second, we can disintegrate the Mu family's power. Third, the Mu family's medicinal field. The mysterious lady smiled. The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house chuckled and said, So Mother has already planned this. What a joke. Why don't you see who we are cooperating with this time? If you don't use your brain more when cooperating with Qin Feiyang, you will definitely fall into his hands in the end. The mysterious lady snorted coldly. I didn't expect Mother to be afraid of someone. The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house covered her mouth and laughed. I'm afraid of him. He's just a little bastard who hasn't even grown out his hair. What can he do? The mysterious lady's face was full of disdain. Really? The young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house looked at her with a smile. Nonsense. The mysterious lady said angrily, but when she looked at the young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house, she couldn't help but feel guilty. That's it. You can go into seclusion and cultivate in peace. I promise to bring your teacher to you unscathed. After hurriedly throwing down these words, the mysterious lady soared into the air and rushed to the sky above a canyon like lightning. She lowered her head and scanned the canyon, saying, Old friend, come out for a moment. Whoosh! Not long after, a middle-aged man rushed out of the canyon and landed in front of the mysterious lady. This person was the false god who had helped the mysterious lady many times in the past. Moreover, his strength had also reached the peak of the false god realm. He was a super terrifying supreme existence. What's wrong? The middle-aged man asked. Qin Feiyang asked me to cooperate, the mysterious lady quickly and briefly explained the situation. The middle-aged man frowned and said, "Then what are your plans? You go deal with Yiglao. I'll go to the main tower to save people." The mysterious lady said. The middle-aged man said, "I really don't want to get involved in your dispute anymore. However, for the sake of our past relationship, I promise to help you. However, you will owe me a favor from now on." "No problem." The mysterious lady nodded. "Then let's go," the middle-aged man said. The two of them opened a teleportation gate at the same time and walked in without looking back. At the same time, 100 miles away, there was a small island. On the island, there were rocks and bushes, and some sea beasts could be seen wandering on the island. In the center of the island, there was a mountain peak that was 100 feet tall. On the side of the cliff, two old men stood side by side. One of them was wearing a white robe and his body was straight. His white hair fluttered in the wind, and he looked like a celestial being. However, if one looked carefully, they would be able to find a strong trace of hostility between his brows. That's right. This person was the great ancestor of the Mu family. As for the other person, he was dressed in green and had a mask covering his face. Only a pair of slightly sinister eyes could be seen. He was undoubtedly Yiglao. The great ancestor of the Mu family frowned and asked in a low voice, "Yiglao, what's the point of us waiting here? We might as well do it directly." "Do it directly?" "It's easy to say. Do you know how terrifying that middle-aged man's strength is? I can tell you responsibly that if we do it directly, both sides will suffer, and in the end, it will benefit the main tower." Chapter 13:25. Then how long do we have to wait? The Mu family ancestor frowned. "Don't worry. They will separate sooner or later. As long as they separate, we can break them one by one," Yiglao said coldly. The current situation in the Forgotten Continent is very delicate. The Mu family, the main tower, and the mysterious madam, the three of them formed a stalemate. And this stalemate, no one wants to break first. If the Mu family and the mysterious madam really go to war, the main tower will benefit in the end. The same is true. If the Mu family and the main tower go to war, the mysterious madam will benefit. And if the mysterious madam and the main tower go to war, then in the end, the Mu family will definitely be the fishermen to reap the benefits. So, none of them want to make the first move, unless they have full confidence. The Mu family ancestor suddenly said, "I heard that Qin Feiyang is back, I don't know where he is hiding now. It's best not to appear in front of this old man, otherwise he will suffer." Yiglao coldly snorted. After the robbery of the divine crystal, the Mu family now hates Qin Feiyang to the bone. Swish. But before his voice faded, the middle-aged man suddenly descended on the island. His aura was not concealed at all. Yiglao and the Mu family ancestor were shocked. What is this person doing here? The middle-aged man glanced at the island, his eyes flashed with killing intent. The power of the false god roared out, like a huge wave, rushing towards the island. "Oh no, it seems that we have been discovered." Yiglao suddenly changed color, hurriedly grabbed the Mu family ancestor, and flew away like lightning. Just as they left, the power of the false god arrived, accompanied by a loud bang. The entire island was instantly annihilated. The sea within a radius of hundreds of miles was set off huge waves that blotted out the sky. Yiglao stood in the sky, watching this scene. He couldn't help but break out in cold sweat. If he was a step later, the Mu family ancestor would have died on the spot. After all, he was only a 9-star war emperor, and Yiglao would have been seriously injured. Yiglao turned to look at the middle-aged man, and said in a deep voice, "How did you know we were here?" Even though he and the Mu clan's ancestor had been staying on this island all this time, they had been hiding their presence and had never exposed themselves. However, this person had attacked as soon as he arrived. It was obvious that he knew they were hiding here. The middle-aged man said contemptuously, "You think you can hide here without anyone noticing, but you don't know that I already knew from the first day you came. How is this possible?" Yigleo's face was filled with disbelief. Could it be that there was a spy in the clan who was secretly informing this person? No. He immediately rejected this idea. Because in the entire Mu clan, only a few people knew that he and the great ancestor had come to the Endless Sea, and these few people were the leaders of the Mu clan, so they could not be spies. There must be other factors. Nothing is impossible. In the endless ocean, there's nothing that I don't know. The middle-aged man smiled proudly. Boom! That terrifying divine might fell from the sky like a waterfall, pouncing toward the two. Retreat! Yigleo's expression changed. He didn't even look back as he shouted at the Mu clan's ancestor. His body shook as he unleashed his godly chi and rushed forward. Boom! The two godly chi collided, and an invisible wave of air rushed out in all directions, setting off huge waves that drowned the sky. Puff! Yigleo immediately spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face turned pale. The middle-aged man, on the other hand, only took a step back with a calm expression. Yigleo suppressed the surging blood in his heart and said in a deep voice, "Where's that woman? Why didn't she come?" The middle-aged man's eyes flashed, and he said expressionlessly, "She went to the main tower to save people, but it doesn't matter if she's there or not, because I alone am enough to kill you." As soon as he finished speaking, he took a step forward, carrying a monstrous amount of godly chi, and rushed toward Yigleo. She went to the main tower to save people. Yigleo was surprised. But suddenly, he seemed to have thought of something, and his spirit was lifted. That's right. The mysterious lady must have gone to save the old man. This was a great opportunity. Yigleo was secretly overjoyed, and quickly sent a message to the Mu clan's ancestor, "Send a message back immediately." The Mu clan's ancestor nodded without leaving a trace, and then quietly retreated. The middle-aged man noticed, but he did not pay attention to it, and continued to attack Yigleo. "Today is the day you die." Yigleo smiled coldly, and his godly chi erupted, and he did not retreat. Boom! Crash! This place was suddenly flooded by a destructive wave of battle. The void shattered, and the sea rolled. The sea beasts below were killed and injured, and blood stained thousands of miles. At the same time the middle-aged man made his move, the mysterious lady appeared out of thin air above the sword peak of the main tower. Who is it? Immediately, a violent shout exploded below, and then a black-robed old man rushed out from the sword peak, and his aura surged. It was a 9-star war emperor. "It's me," the mysterious lady said coldly. When the black-robed old man heard this voice, he was shocked, and then when he saw the mysterious lady's face, his face suddenly turned pale, and he roared, "Be alert. Your main tower's fake gods have gone to the Mu clan now, what are you going to do?" The mysterious lady smiled contemptuously, took a step forward, and landed in front of the black-robed old man. The black-robed old man's body tightened, and he retreated without hesitation. Because now, the main tower and the Mu clan knew that the mysterious lady was a fake god. However, at this moment, he did not think that in front of a fake god, he could escape. Obviously, he could not. The mysterious lady's index finger pointed in the air, and a fake god's power burst out, and it entered the black-robed old man's lower abdomen. Suddenly, blood burst out. "Ah!" the black-robed old man screamed, and on the spot, he held his lower abdomen and chased down powerlessly. Unexpectedly, the mysterious lady did not kill him, but turned into a stream of light, and instantly disappeared from the sword peak below. What's going on? This aura, it seems like a fake god. Because of the mysterious lady's appearance, the main tower suddenly became a mess. Whoosh! In the mountain range deep in the main tower, rays of light rushed into the sky, and then flew toward the sword peak. Without exception, they were all combat emperors. And the disciples of the nearby 10-Pill Pagoda and Warrior Mountain Range also rushed toward the sword peak. With such a big thing happening, they definitely wanted to watch the show. But in the end, they were stopped by the peak masters and pagoda masters. What a joke, a fake god had descended, these disciples running, aren't they just sending themselves to death? What's going on? An angry shout sounded, and the pagoda master descended from the sky above the sword peak. But before his voice faded, the mysterious lady rushed out of the sword peak, and beside her was an old man in white. His body was thin, his face was haggard, and his clothes were dirty and messy, and above his left eye, there was an eye-catching scar. That's right. He was the teacher of the Longphone Pavilions, Mississippi. It's you. Seeing the mysterious lady, the pagoda master's face suddenly changed. That's right, it's me. The mysterious lady looked at the pagoda master coldly. The pagoda master was very nervous. Now that the fake gods of the main tower had all gone to the Mu clan, no one could compete with the mysterious lady. Even if the mysterious lady destroyed the entire pagoda, he could only watch. In short, the mysterious lady could do whatever she wanted in the pagoda. Don't worry. I won't kill you now, but it's hard to say in the future. The mysterious lady smiled coldly and opened the portal, taking the teacher of the Longphone Pavilions miss and left without looking back. What the hell is going on? Why did she appear in the pagoda at this time? Who can give me an answer? When the portal dissipated, the pagoda master suddenly roared in exasperation. Those who came looked at each other, not knowing what was going on. Swish! Suddenly, accompanied by a sound, Wang Su flew to the front of the pagoda master with the black-clothed old man whose sea of qi was destroyed. Wang Su's face was hazy to the extreme. The pagoda master looked at the black-clothed old man and said, "Tell me, what the hell is going on?" The black-clothed old man shook his head and said, "I don't know, she destroyed my sea of qi as soon as she came. Our fake god went to the Mu clan, and she immediately came to the pagoda master. Is this a coincidence?" Wang Su said in a deep voice. The pagoda master's eyes trembled, he looked at Wang Su and said, "Old Wang, you mean," Wang Su said, "I think this may be Qin Feiyang's conspiracy." That's right. That woman also knows that our fake god went to the Mu clan. The black-clothed old man said. This damn little beast, I shouldn't have believed him. The pagoda master was furious, he stomped his feet in anger. Wang Su couldn't help but clench his fists. The people around also had murderous intent in their eyes. Mu clan's medicinal field. Qin Feiyang and Lu Zheng were still sitting on the armchairs, drinking wine and chatting. Gong Sunbei looked at the old man in the white robe in the picture, his brows tightly knitted into a line. Suddenly, Gong Sunbei raised his head and drank all the wine within the jug. After that, he glared angrily at Qin Feiyang and Jian Wushuang. "Can you be frank and tell me exactly what the two of you are up to? Don't be impatient. I promise I will give you a surprise later." Lu Jing laughed. Gong Sunbei was furious to the extreme. At this moment, the old man in the white robe in the picture suddenly opened his eyes, then took out an image crystal from his arms. Seeing this situation, Qin Feiyang and Lu Zheng suddenly sat up straight, staring at the old man in the white robe, their eyes shining. Buzz! The old man in the white robe activated the image crystal. A shadow quickly appeared, it was the Mu clan's great ancestor. "He's here." Qin Feiyang got up and said. "The good show has finally begun." Lu Jing also got up, his face full of playfulness. Gong Sunbei turned his head and glanced at the two, then looked back at the old man in the white robe and the Mu clan's great ancestor's shadow in surprise. "How is it?" the old man in the white robe asked. "The mysterious lady went to the pagoda to save people, now only the middle-aged man is there. Yiglao asked you to come and support him immediately." The Mu clan's great ancestor said. What? The mysterious lady went to the pagoda? Gongsun Bei's face changed. Qin Feiyang and Lu Zheng were also shocked. At the same time, the old man in the white robe also had a strong murderous intent in his eyes. He suddenly got up and said, "Coordinates." The Mu clan's great ancestor immediately gave the old man in the white robe a coordinate. "We finally got the chance. This old man wants to see how you can escape this time." Chapter 13:26. When the old man in white entered the portal, Gongsun Bei turned to look at Qin Feiyang and said angrily, "What do you mean? Why would the mysterious lady go to my main tower now? Whether you believe it or not, I really don't know." Qin Feiyang said. "You don't know? Do you think I'm a fool? If it weren't for you, why would the mysterious lady go to the main tower at this time?" Gongsun Bei roared. Qin Feiyang frowned. This woman really knows how to cause trouble for him. She actually chose this time to go and save people. Now, not only Gongsun Bei, but even the chief tower master must be suspecting that this plan was deliberately set up by him and the mysterious lady to save people. In this way, the chief tower master is very likely to withdraw from this plan. Without the support of the main tower, all his efforts would undoubtedly go down the drain. There is even a possibility that the chief tower master will betray him and join forces with the Mu family to deal with him. One must know. Now that he is inside the barrier, if the chief tower really betrays him, then he will be a turtle in a jar with no way out. What should we do now? Lu Zheng secretly asked. The plan was originally flawless, but who would have thought that the mysterious lady would make such a fuss at this time? I don't know. Qin Feiyang had a headache. Buzz. At this time, Gongsun Bei's image crystal made a noise. He looked at Qin Feiyang gloomily and took out the image crystal. The next moment, the chief tower master's image appeared. Whether it was his face or his eyes, it was full of anger. Gongsun Bei asked, "Lord, what's the situation of the chief tower?" "They have been rescued," the chief tower master said solemnly. "Damn it!" Gongsun Bei was furious. "I shouldn't have trusted you." The chief tower master looked at Qin Feiyang and said to Gongsun Bei, "Cancel the plan immediately." "Yes." Gongsun Bei nodded. "Wait." Qin Feiyang hurriedly said. His face was quite ugly. What he worried about really happened. Chief Pagoda Master shouted, "Shut up, I won't believe anything you say now." Qin Feiyang looked at Chief Pagoda Master and said, "I swear, I really didn't know about this matter. How about this? After the plan succeeds, I will help you snatch the divine crystal back from the mysterious madam." "Huh," the Chief Tower Master laughed as if he had heard the funniest joke in the world. He said mockingly, "Do you have the ability to do that?" "Of course I don't have that ability. But the Mu family does. Now, the Mu family and the mysterious madam are fighting in the endless sea. The Mu family has Yigleo, the white-robed old man. Mysterious madam, that middle-aged man is helping. Their strengths are about the same. In the end, both sides will suffer great losses. And when we're done here, we can go and clean up the mess. At that time, wouldn't the divine crystals be ours? We might even be able to catch them all in one fell swoop." Qin Feiyang said, a cold light flashed in his eyes. Chief Pagoda Master was slightly stunned and said in surprise, "Are you sure the Mu family and the mysterious madam are fighting in the endless sea?" "I'm sure. Because that's what I arranged. I asked the mysterious madam to lead the Mu family's fake gods to the endless sea. This way, no one can stop us from destroying the 10 stone towers." Qin Feiyang said. "Give me the coordinates quickly." Chief Pagoda Master said impatiently. "I can't give you the coordinates now. When I'm done here, I will personally take you there." Qin Feiyang said. Chief Pagoda Master's eyes flashed, and he said, if I remember correctly, your relationship with the mysterious madam is extraordinary. Why are you betraying her now? Then don't forget, she tried to kill me more than once. Just like when I went to your pagoda to snatch the divine crystals, I was forced by her. Qin Feiyang sneered. What did she force you with? Chief Pagoda Master frowned. The lives of millions of people. Qin Feiyang said. Chief Pagoda Master's eyes flashed, and he said, it's hard for me to believe you again. After all, you're too cunning, unless what? Qin Feiyang asked. Chief Pagoda Master said, give me the most important thing, and after I snatch the divine crystals, we will exchange the money and the goods. Qin Feiyang unnoticeably raised his eyebrows and said, what do you want? The potential pills recipe. Chief Pagoda Master said. Do you think it's possible? If I give you the recipe, you can just make a few copies. How can I know? Qin Feiyang sneered. In other words, as long as he gives the recipe to the Chief Pagoda Master, it's like throwing a meat bun to a dog. This is my only condition. If you agree, we will continue to cooperate. If you don't, then don't blame me for being ruthless. You should know what the consequences will be if the Mu family knows your plan at this time. Chief Pagoda Master sneered. The implication was that if he didn't agree, he would tell the Mu family about the plan. In other words, this was a threat to Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang's eyes were gloomy, he gritted his teeth and nodded, okay, I will give you the recipe, and in order to show my sincerity, I will give it to you. Since he knew that there was no return, he might as well be generous. Huh, Chief Pagoda Master laughed, his face full of pride, and said, then there's no time to lose, hurry up. Qin Feiyang turned to look at Dan Wangkai and said, make a copy of the recipe. Okay. Dan Wangkai nodded and took out a brush, ink, paper, and inkstone. Soon, a pill recipe appeared. He dried the ink on it and handed it to Qin Feiyang with both hands. Chief Pagoda Master said, Gongsun Bei, can you confirm if there is a mistake? Yes. Gongsun Bei nodded, turned his head and took the recipe from Dan Wangkai, then bowed his head and carefully looked at it. Dan Wangkai frowned, you are not an alchemist, can you understand it? How do you know that I am not an alchemist? Gongsun Bei smiled and waved his hand. A shining alchemy furnace and a cluster of alchemy fire appeared out of thin air. What? Dan Wangkai's face changed. Qin Feiyang was also surprised, Gongsun Bei was actually an alchemist. And according to his observation, the alchemy furnace and alchemy fire were both 8th grade. Gongsun Bei looked at Qin Feiyang and said, give me a set of herbs, I want to verify it in person. Ha! Qin Feiyang took a deep breath and looked at Dan Wangkai, give him the herbs. In the past, the herbs were taken care of by Fatso and Lu Hong, but ever since Dan Wangkai came, he was in charge of the herbs. Dan Wangkai nodded, took out a set of herbs from his Qianquan bag and gave it to Gongsun Bei. Immediately, Gongsun Bei lit up the alchemy furnace and started refining pills in front of Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang glanced at Dan Wangkai and sent a sound transmission, your reaction is so big, is there a problem with the pill recipe? Dan Wangkai secretly said, I originally thought that Gongsun Bei was not an alchemist, and the Chief Pagoda Master was outside, so no one could verify the authenticity, so I messed up the steps of refining pills, but I didn't expect. At this point, Dan Wangkai fell silent, feeling extremely bitter in his heart. It was really a case of being too smart for one's own good. Qin Feiyang frowned and looked at Gongsun Bei who was concentrating on refining pills. His eyes flashed slightly as he sent a sound transmission to Dan Wangkai, don't be nervous, no one in the Chief Pagoda can refine potential pills, so even if Gongsun Bei fails, he can't judge whether it is real or fake. But what if he keeps refining? Dan Wangkai asked calmly. Qin Feiyang secretly said, I'll handle it. Dan Wangkai secretly let out a sigh of relief. With the young master personally taking action, the problem shouldn't be big. Boom! Unsurprisingly, before he reached the step of fusing the spirit liquid, Gong Sun Bei failed, and all the herbs turned into ashes. What's going on? The chief pagoda master raised his eyebrows and asked Gong Sun Bei, is the pill recipe fake? Whether the pill recipe is fake or not, this subordinate doesn't know, but this potential pill is very difficult to refine. Gong Sun Bei frowned and looked at Qin Feiyang. Give me another set of herbs. Dan Wankai said angrily, do you know how precious a set of potential pills herbs are? Why? Guilty. Is there really a problem with this pill recipe? Gong Sun Bei said. You're twisting words and forcing logic. Dan Wankai almost went berserk. Qin Feiyang said indifferently, true gold fears no fire, give it to him. Yes. Dan Wankai sighed and took out another set of herbs and gave it to Gong Sun Bei. There was no suspense. In the end, it also ended in failure. What's going on? This time, whether it's the heat or the steps, there is no problem. How can it fail? Gong Sun Bei frowned. The chief pagoda master's eyes turned and fell on Qin Feiyang. Is this a real pill recipe? Nonsense. You're threatening me, do you think I dare to give you a fake one? Qin Feiyang said angrily. The chief pagoda master said, then why did Gong Sun Bei fail one after another? Do you think the potential pill is so easy to refine? Let me tell you, refining the potential pill is countless times more difficult than refining other pills. Whether it's the heat or the time to extract the spiritual liquid, it must be done perfectly. And most importantly, when refining the potential pill, the heart must be as still as water. The slightest emotional fluctuation will result in failure. Back then, when I was refining the potential pill, I wasted hundreds of sets of herbs before I slowly grasped the trick and succeeded. And he, Qin Feiyang sneered and pointed at Dan Wankai, his talent in alchemy is not worse than mine, but he also wasted more than 300 sets of herbs before he succeeded. Gong Sun Bei wants to succeed after just 1 or 2 tries. Do you think it's possible? Or do you think his alchemy talent is better than mine? The chief pagoda master raised his eyebrows. In terms of alchemy talent, no one in the chief pagoda can compare with Qin Feiyang. Now, time is tight. I can't wait for Gong Sun Bei to succeed. If you don't believe me, then send a message to the Mu clan and tell them I'm here. But you have to think carefully. Although you can kill me by doing this, the Mu clan will make a move on your chief pagoda sooner or later. Because their ambition is not only to rule the great Qin Empire, but also to rule the Forgotten Continent. Of course. If you are confident that you can stop the Mu clan's army with just the chief pagoda's strength, then pretend I didn't say these words. Chapter 1327. The chief pagoda master's face was gloomy. He really couldn't tell which of Qin Feiyang's words was true and which were false. The battle in the endless sea must have erupted. We don't have much time to waste. Hurry up and make a decision. Qin Feiyang urged. Endless sea. Yiglao and the middle-aged man fought fiercely. The sea area within a radius of thousands of miles was covered by huge waves. But relatively speaking, the middle-aged man's strength was stronger than Yiglao. Every time he attacked, he would cause Yiglao indelible injuries. However, Yiglao wasn't discouraged. On the contrary, his fighting spirit was high and his fighting spirit soared into the sky. Because he knew that reinforcements were already on the way. And in the battle between the fake gods, the Mu family's ancestor, a 9-star war emperor, naturally couldn't intervene. He could only stand in the distance and worry. Swish! Suddenly, the white-robed old man arrived. Seeing the white-robed old man appear, whether it was Yiglao or the Mu family's ancestor, they were all overjoyed. The white-robed old man didn't stop at all and directly joined the battle. As a super overlord at the peak of the fake god realm, the white-robed old man's strength naturally couldn't be underestimated. In an instant, the middle-aged man fell below and was suppressed by the two of them. Divine power surged and huge waves roared. Wherever the three of them went, the void crazily cracked. Black hurricanes roared out from the void cracks, exuding a sharp aura that could destroy the world, shaking the sky. In less than 10 breaths, the middle-aged man's body was covered in blood. But not only was he not nervous at all, the coldness on his face was even stronger. Because he also knew that his reinforcements would arrive soon. What exactly are you? With such strength, you can completely dominate a region, but why are you that woman's pawn? The white-robed old man shouted. The middle-aged man remained silent and waved his hands again and again. The power of the fake god was like a tide, surging and rushing towards the two. You are really stubborn. Since you want to die, this old man will fulfill your wish. The white-robed old man shouted. You don't have the strength yet. The middle-aged man finally spoke, his face was full of contempt. The white-robed old man flew into a rage out of humiliation and looked at Yigleo. Killing intent surged in his eyes. Immediately after, the two of them waved their hands at the same time. Their false divinity energy surged out like two giant pythons and collided with the middle-aged man's false divinity energy. Puff! The middle-aged man immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. His body and mind trembled as he was sent flying like a meteorite. You are a pinnacle false divinity, and so am I, but now, I have Yigleo's help. What do you have? You're all alone now. How are you going to fight me? The white-robed old man laughed disdainfully. Together with Yigleo, they charged towards the middle-aged man at lightning speed. Are we competing in numbers? Then I'm afraid we have more people than you. But at this moment, a cold laugh rang out. The mysterious madam and the teacher of the Miss of the Dragon Phoenix Pavilion appeared above the middle-aged man's head out of thin air. This, the white-robed old man and Yigleo immediately stopped in midair. They stared at the mysterious madam and the old man in disbelief. What's going on? He actually came back so quickly. What were the people from the main tower doing? One had to know. The main tower also had a false god overseeing it. And this time, the mysterious madam went to the main tower alone. How could she save them so easily? That's not right. There's something wrong with this. The white-robed old man's body trembled. He turned his head to look at the great ancestor of the Mu clan and shouted, "Quickly send a message back and let the patriarch investigate. What exactly happened in the main tower? There's no chance." The mysterious madam chuckled and looked at the teacher of the Miss of the Dragon Phoenix Pavilion. Go and kill him. N. The old man nodded and turned into a stream of light, rushing towards the great ancestor of the Mu clan. Seeing this, the great ancestor of the Mu clan's expression changed and he quickly opened the teleportation gate. Stay here. The white-robed old man shouted. With a wave of his hand, the power of the false god rushed towards the old man with a monstrous baleful aura. But the old man turned a blind eye. Just as the power of the false god was about to reach the old man, the middle-aged man smiled coldly and said, "The real battle has just begun." He took a step forward and instantly landed in front of the old man. He raised his arm and slapped out. With a loud bang, the power of the false god suddenly disintegrated. Stop him! The white-robed old man shouted. Yigleo's eyes turned cold. He crossed the void and blocked in front of Yigleo. However, at the same time, the mysterious madam took a step forward and stood in front of Yigleo. Your opponent is me. And today, the new and old hatred between us will be settled together. The mysterious madam smiled coldly and directly stepped forward. Her divine power erupted and slapped at Yigleo. The void in front of him immediately shattered. Seeing this, Yigleo's heart sank and quickly counterattacked. Boom! The battle between the middle-aged man and the white-robed old man also began at the same time. As soon as the four false gods attacked, the world suddenly dimmed. The sea waves rolled, and the sea beasts lurking at the bottom of the sea couldn't help but flee. Go! You must find out. The white-robed old man roared at the great ancestor of the Mu clan without looking back. In the blink of an eye. At this moment, the portal had already opened. When the great ancestor of the Mu clan heard the white-robed old man's words, he immediately rushed in. If I can't even keep a mere 9-star combat emperor, wouldn't that be the biggest joke in the world? The teacher of the young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house had a look of contempt. He raised his hand and pointed in the air. A false god power swept out and cut through the sky like lightning, blasting on the portal. Boom! The portal shattered on the spot. And the great ancestor of the Mu clan, who was about to be teleported away, immediately fell out of the void. His entire body was dripping with blood. Run! Yiglao shouted anxiously. The great ancestor of the Mu clan was terrified and turned around to jump into the sea below. Is there any point in struggling like this? The teacher of the young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house smiled disdainfully. His old body shook and a mighty divine power broke out of his body. It was like a rolling torrent, drowning the sky. The great ancestor of the Mu clan was immediately imprisoned in the void with a face of despair. Damn it! The white-robed old man and Yiglao were burning with anxiety. They desperately wanted to get rid of the mysterious madam and the middle-aged man to rescue them. But the strength of the mysterious madam and the middle-aged man was not inferior to theirs. They could not find a chance at all. After letting you jump around for so many years, it's time to send you to hell to report. That's right. The demon child and the second ancestor of the Mu clan should still be waiting for you in hell. The teacher of the young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house smiled coldly. His divine power soared several times and oppressed the great ancestor of the Mu clan from all directions. Ah, the great ancestor of the Mu clan immediately howled miserably. Blood spurted out of the pores all over his body. He felt as if his body was being crazily squeezed by several large mountains. The aura of death had descended. He was completely desperate. The white-robed old man and Yiglao also roared towards the sky. Their eyes were blood red. They were like two mad beasts, desperately attacking the mysterious madam and the middle-aged man. However, the mysterious madam and the middle-aged man did not panic at all. They dealt with every move and never gave them a chance to rescue the great ancestor of the Mu clan. Ah, the screams of the great ancestor of the Mu clan resounded through the sky. He had never been so helpless as at this moment. Very soon, he turned into a bloody man. Blood flowed down his body like raindrops and floated down to the sea below. His originally sharp gaze also gradually dimmed. His life fluctuations were also slowly weakening. Even if I die, I won't let you have it easy. But suddenly, he suddenly roared, and a destructive aura rushed out of his body. Obviously, he wanted to self-destruct. However, the old man's expression did not change. Even if one looked carefully, one would find that there was a hint of ridicule in his eyes. Boom! The great ancestor of the Mu clan, with unresolvable despair and resentment, self-destructed. A wave of chi that could destroy the world suddenly surged out. It was like a raging wave in a vast ocean, rushing in all directions. But the old man just waved his hand gently, and the wave of air dissipated. Looking at his body again, there was not the slightest scar. Even his clothes and hair were not damaged in the slightest. Naive. The old man smiled contemptuously and turned to look at Yiglao and the white-robed old man. Whoosh! Suddenly, he rushed out, with a monstrous murderous aura, toward Yiglao. Yiglao's expression changed, and hurriedly sent a voice transmission to the white-robed old man, they now have 3 fake gods, we are no match for them, quickly find a way to retreat. The white-robed old man said in a deep voice, this is obviously a death trap, they will not give us a chance to retreat. Then what should we do? Yiglao was at a loss. There is no other way, we can only fight to the death. The white-robed old man's face was ferocious. Are you desperate? However, what really makes you desperate is not here, but in your nest. The mysterious lady sneered. What do you mean? The two were surprised. Don't you want to know why I can save people from the main tower so easily? Now I will tell you, because the fake gods of the main tower went to your Mu clan's nest. The mysterious lady laughed. What? The two's expression changed. Yiglao said in surprise, this is a trap set by you and the main tower. You have already joined hands. Wrong. This death trap is not a masterpiece of me and the main tower, it is Qin Feiyang. He is now in your Mu clan. The mysterious lady laughed. Qin Feiyang. Yiglao and the mysterious lady were like a bolt from the blue, rumbling in their mind. This little beast came back just to deal with the Mu clan. This time. Me, Qin Feiyang, and the main tower, 3 sides, even if your Mu clan can defy the heavens, I am afraid you can't stop us. And now, Qin Feiyang should also make his move. The mysterious lady joked. Damn it, damn it. Yiglao and the mysterious lady roared again and again. It's you who deserve to die. The mysterious lady roared, her whole temperament changed in an instant, like a devil descending from the heavens. Her eyes were full of resentment and hatred. That's right. Your Mu clan is the one who deserves to die the most. Today, even if I have to risk my life, this old man will kill you to avenge the blood feud of that year. The teacher of the young lady of the Dragon Phoenix house also seemed to have changed in an instant, his murderous aura soared to the sky. Looking at the changes in the two, Yiglao and the old man in white robe were surprised. What blood feud? How come they don't remember? The moment you die, we will tell you. The old man smiled ferociously, and with a surging divine aura, he rushed forward crazily. A bloody battle began. Chapter 1328. The fierce battle in the endless ocean had already reached its climax. However, the Mu family's base was still in a peaceful atmosphere. They did not notice that danger had arrived at all. Inside the ancient castle, Qin Feiyang looked at the chief tower master's phantom, his face full of impatience. Buzz! Suddenly, Qin Feiyang's image crystal rang. Qin Feiyang took out the image crystal, and the phantom of the Dragon Phoenix house's young lady quickly condensed. The Dragon Phoenix house's young lady asked, "Have you started?" "Not yet." Qin Feiyang shook his head. "No." The Dragon Phoenix house's young lady was stunned and said angrily, "It hasn't started yet." "What are you doing?" "There's a situation." Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows. "What's the situation?" The Dragon Phoenix house's young lady was puzzled. Qin Feiyang glanced at her and directly turned off the image crystal. If the mysterious madam had not taken the opportunity to run to the chief tower to save people, how could things have turned out like this? Qin Feiyang looked at the chief tower master and said in a deep voice, "You've seen it too. They're already urging me. Please make a decision quickly, okay?" The chief tower master gritted his teeth and said, "All right, I'll believe you once more, but don't forget the promise you made to me before. After the plan succeeds, help me get the divine crystal back." "Don't worry, I'll definitely get the divine crystal back." Qin Feiyang sneered. At first glance, there was nothing wrong with this sentence. But if one thought about it carefully, one would be able to figure out the meaning. Because in this sentence, there was no mention of giving the divine crystal to the chief tower. The chief tower master glanced at him, then looked at Gong Sun Bei and said, "Take good care of the pill formula. If it's lost, I'll hold you responsible." Yes. Gongsun Bei responded respectfully, then folded the pill formula, put it into a jade box, and kept it in his qi. This represented his determination. If Qin Feiyang wanted to snatch back the pill formula, he would have to kill him. But he did not know that Qin Feiyang had no such intention at all, because the pill formula was fake. Then you guys can do it. The chief tower master glanced at Qin Feiyang and Gongsun Bei before turning off the image crystal. Lu Jing immediately looked at Gongsun Bei and said, "Inform the 3 vice pavilion masters to charge in immediately." Charge in? Gongsun Bei was bewildered. He frowned and said, "We don't know the foundation of the main tower yet. Isn't it inappropriate to barge in like this? Then do you think they can sneak in without anyone noticing?" Lu Jing asked in return. Gongsun Bei shook his head. Not only were there 3 layers of illusions at the entrance of the Mu clan, but there was also a 9-star emperor beast hidden in the illusions within the canyon. The divine power barrier was also guarded by Mu Yuan. If he wanted to sneak into this place silently, he would have to be like Qin Feiyang, who had a spatial divine item that could make him invisible. At this moment, Qin Feiyang suddenly said, "Killing our way in is indeed inappropriate." Lu Jing frowned. "If we kill our way in, the Mu family will find out in advance. By then, they will be prepared, and we won't be able to catch them off guard. So, we have to think of a way to let the vice pavilion masters and the others sneak in first." Qin Feiyang said. Lu Jing said, "Are you planning to go out and meet them personally?" Qin Feiyang nodded. Lu Jing said, "Then tell me, how do we pass through the divine power barrier?" Qin Feiyang lowered his head and pondered. Suddenly, his eyes flashed and he said with a smile, "Go find Mu Yuan." Immediately, he drove the ancient castle, left the herb field, and rushed in the direction of Mu Yuan. At the same time, he said to Gongsun Bei, "Send a message to the vice pavilion masters and ask them to wait for me outside the canyon. Remember, hide your presence." Gongsun Bei nodded. Outside the entrance, 5 middle-aged men stood on the mountain peak and scanned the surroundings. Their eyes were extremely sharp. They were the 5 9-star combat emperors who had replaced Mu Dahue to guard the entrance. Swoosh! But suddenly, 3 old men descended on the mountain peak. "Who is it?" The 5 men immediately shouted, murderous intent flashing in their eyes. But when they looked up and saw the faces of the 3 men, their expressions changed. That's right. The 3 old men who had suddenly appeared were the 3 false gods from the main tower. As soon as the 3 of them appeared, they attacked aggressively and instantly killed the 5 men. Not even their bones were left behind. Then, the 3 of them did not stop at all. They landed on the mountain peak, hid their presence, and directly stepped into the sea of clouds and appeared in front of the canyon. They were all false gods and had hidden their presence to the extreme. The 9-star emperor beast in the canyon would definitely not be able to sense them. The vice pavilion master scanned the canyon and said, "The canyon that Gongsun Bei mentioned should be here. Then let's wait for them here." The other 2 old men smiled and curiously looked at the illusion in the canyon. At this moment, Qin Feiyang had also driven the ancient castle into the city and came to Mu Yuan's side. Mu Yuan was still sitting on the stone pillar, but compared to before, he was much more vigilant now. He stared straight at the canyon opposite him. However, he did not notice the ancient castle floating beside him at all. "Wait for me." In the ancient castle, Qin Feiyang said to Lu Zheng and Gongsun Bei before entering the ancient tower. Standing above a mountain range, he shouted, "Seahorse, seal, bring your underlings and gather here immediately." Roar! Accompanied by the roars of beasts, a group of 9-star emperor beasts rose from the mountain stream and flew toward Qin Feiyang. "Boss Qin, something happened again?" The seal and seal were the first to arrive and asked in surprise. "Yes. Qin Feiyang nodded. When the other 9-star emperor beasts arrived, Qin Feiyang waved his hand and an image appeared in the void. The image showed Mu Yuan. Although he could not hear the sounds of the outside world in the ancient tower, he could see the situation outside, just like in the ancient castle. Of course. Only Qin Feiyang, the owner of the ancient tower, could do this. I'll bring him in later. Once he comes in, attack immediately. Don't give him any chance to resist. Qin Feiyang looked at Seahorse and the other beasts and reminded them. Understood. The beasts roared and their emperor Aura roared, ready to attack. Qin Feiyang's face was full of smiles. These were all his strong backing. Of course. This was the credit of the imperial tutor because he had trained them. If there was a chance in the future, he must thank the imperial tutor. And now, it was more important to deal with the Mu family. He looked at Mu Yuan with murderous intent in his eyes. He waved his hand and the unprepared Mu Yuan appeared in the void in front of him. What's going on? Mu Yuan was shocked as he scanned his surroundings. So many emperor beasts. But when he saw Qin Feiyang, his face was full of disbelief. Welcome to my world. Qin Feiyang grinned. Roar. Before his voice died away. A group of 9-star emperor beasts suddenly bared their fangs and swarmed forward. Facing the bombardment of 80 to 99-star emperor beasts, even if Mu Yuan was also a 9-star combat emperor, he could not withstand it. In just an instant. His whole body was covered in wounds and his flesh was badly mutilated. And his chi was pierced by a 9-star emperor beast, with a big hole, and blood spurted out like a fountain. Back off. At the order of Seahorse and Seal, all the 9-star emperor beasts immediately retreated to the side. Qin Feiyang released his emperor aura and imprisoned Mu Yuan in the void. Then, he walked toward Mu Yuan step by step. Why are you here? Did you kill Mu Dahui and Mu Sheng? Mu Yuan stared at Qin Feiyang in shock and anger. It's too late to find out now. Qin Feiyang chuckled and walked in front of Mu Yuan. He grabbed Mu Yuan's Qinquan bag and lowered his head to check. What are you looking for? Mu Yuan was surprised and suddenly seemed to think of something. He said in surprise, could it be, that's right. Qin Feiyang waved his hand, and the token to open the divine power barrier suddenly appeared. Damn it! How did you sneak in? From Mu Dahui's death until now, I have only opened the divine power barrier twice. Once to go out, and the other time to come back, at this point. Mu Yuan's body shook and said, I understand. You took advantage of the time when I opened the divine power barrier and went to the entrance to check the situation to sneak into my Mu family. Qin Feiyang glanced at him indifferently, then took the token and went to the ancient castle. And Mu Yuan's fate must be very miserable. After all. Whether it was Seahorse, Seal or other 9-star emperor beasts, they were not kind people. Inside the ancient castle. Looking at the token in Qin Feiyang's hand, Lu Zheng and Gongsun Bei were overjoyed. They finally understood what Qin Feiyang had done just now. With this token, not only can the deputy pavilion master and the others sneak in without anyone noticing, but when we retreat, there will be no hindrance at all. Well done. Gongsun Bei gave him a thumbs up and praised. Qin Feiyang smiled faintly, took a disguise elixir, changed into Mu Yuan's appearance, and left the ancient castle. He did this just in case. If he didn't change his appearance, if someone suddenly ran over when Qin Feiyang opened the divine power barrier, wouldn't his identity be exposed? Lu Zheng, your little cousin is really amazing. Gongsun Bei looked at this scene and shook his head and sighed. The fear in his heart for Qin Feiyang increased a little. No matter what he did, he could think of all aspects without leaving any loopholes. Such a meticulous mind was beyond the reach of those old antiques who had lived for thousands of years. Lu Jing smiled proudly and said, "So, after this plan succeeds, you'd better go back and persuade the chief tower master not to be my little cousin's enemy. Otherwise, he will be the one to suffer in the end." Gong Sunbei glanced at him and fell silent. Outside, Qin Feiyang stood on the stone pillar, glanced around, then waved his hand and the token flew away. Buzz! Soon, a light door appeared. Qin Feiyang smiled coldly, grabbed the token, and rushed out like lightning. Then, he entered the ancient castle and drove the ancient castle straight to the entrance of the canyon. Lu Jing secretly said, "Little cousin, when the three fake gods enter the ancient castle, you have to be careful." "I know. But I don't think they will dare to do anything at this time," Qin Feiyang said telepathically. "It's better to be safe than sorry," Lu Jing said. "I'll be careful," Qin Feiyang secretly replied. After a while, the ancient castle appeared above the entrance of the canyon, and the three deputy pavilion masters immediately entered the image. "Seniors, don't resist." Suddenly. Chapter 1329. It was the first time for the three vice pavilion masters to come to the castle. Looking at everything here, their eyes were full of curiosity. But soon, the curiosity in their eyes was replaced by doubt. Is this what the castle looks like? What can be done in such a small space? Also, were the people and ferocious beasts in the castle all of Qin Feiyang's trump cards? At the same time, after Qin Feiyang took the facial restoration pill and restored his true appearance, he drove the castle back the way he came. However, he had been secretly paying attention to the actions of the three. Lu Zheng was right, one must always be vigilant. The vice pavilion master glanced at Dan Wangkai, Wolf King, and the other beasts. The more he looked, the more surprised he became. If Qin Feiyang only has this much strength, how can he be so arrogant? Could it be, had he been putting on an act all along? If that was the case, then this time, can he also get rid of Qin Feiyang? In this way, not only can he severely damage the Mu family, but he can also get rid of Qin Feiyang. The most important thing is that he can get this castle. For this castle, not only the state preceptor and Lu Xingchen, but also the people of the main tower have been coveting it for a long time. The vice pavilion master looked at the other two old men. The two old men also looked at the vice pavilion master, their eyes flashing. Obviously, they were thinking the same thing. The vice pavilion master glanced at Qin Feiyang's back quietly and secretly asked, "Gong Sunbei, what's going on?" Gong Sunbei was taken aback. When he saw the eyes of the three old men, he hurriedly said, "The three of you, don't act rashly. Qin Feiyang's real strength is not in this castle." "Then where is it?" The three old men were shocked. "The ancient tower. There is an ancient tower next to him. It is also a spatial divine object, but the space inside the ancient tower is countless times larger than this castle. If you don't know in advance, you will definitely mistakenly think that it is a complete world." Gong Sunbei secretly said. "Have you been there?" The vice pavilion master secretly asked. "Yes, I have." However, he was very vigilant and had the two 9-star monarch beasts keep an eye on me. I didn't have the chance to check out the situation inside the ancient pagoda. However, I can faintly sense the aura of many 9-star combat emperors in the ancient pagoda," Gong Sunbei said. Hearing this, the three of them were dumbfounded. Never in his wildest dreams would he have thought that Qin Feiyang actually possessed two spatial divine items. Immediately, they dispelled the thought in their minds. Because Gong Sunbei would not lie to them. There were even many 9-star battle emperors' auras. Who knew if there were a few false gods hidden in the ancient pagoda? Therefore, he couldn't risk it. The journey was peaceful. Finally, Qin Feiyang came to the front of the divine power enchantment again. Seeing that there was no one around, Qin Feiyang left the ancient castle and activated the divine power enchantment. After entering the divine power barrier, he stood on the stone pillar and looked at the sacred mountain in front of him, his eyes flickering. The Mu family, the main tower, the mysterious madam, he seemed to be weighing something. Suddenly, Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed. He entered the ancient castle and looked at Gong Sun Bei. You take the 3 seniors to the sacred mountain. Gong Sun Bei was stunned and frowned. What about you? He couldn't help but worry. Because now, the token to open the divine power enchantment was in Qin Feiyang's hands. Moreover, he couldn't guess Qin Feiyang's thoughts at all. He was afraid that Qin Feiyang had included them in his calculations. Qin Feiyang said, "My subordinate is pretending to be Mu Xing. He may be in danger at any time, so I have to go and save him." Gong Sun Bei frowned. "Why? Are you afraid that I will leave you alone?" Qin Feiyang smiled faintly. "It's not impossible, right?" Gong Sun Bei said. "You think too much. Now you have 3 pseudo-gods around you. Even if I leave you behind, I don't believe that with the strength of 3 pseudo-gods, they can't break this barrier. Moreover, I still need you to go to the Endless Sea to help me get rid of the mysterious Madam and Yiglao. How can I leave you alone?" Qin Feiyang smiled. Gong Sun Bei thought for a moment and said, "Are you sure you didn't include us in your calculations?" Qin Feiyang nodded heavily. "Well, I will take them to the sacred mountain. When you rescue your subordinate, come and join us immediately. In addition, you don't have to worry about the Mu clan's head. I will catch him myself." Gong Sun Bei said. "Good." Qin Feiyang nodded. Gong Sun Bei looked at Qin Feiyang deeply and said, "Then send us out." Qin Feiyang said, "Before you go out, I think it's best for you to change your appearance first." Gong Sun Bei and the deputy pavilion master are all famous figures in the tower, especially Gong Sun Bei. Who doesn't know him in the central divine kingdom? The Mu clan also knows him. If they go out like this and are seen by others, wouldn't it be a waste? Gong Sun Bei is also a smart person. Listening to Qin Feiyang's words, he understood what Qin Feiyang meant. Immediately, he took out 4 phantom pills, 1 for himself, and handed the other 3 to the deputy pavilion master and the other 2. After slightly changing his appearance, Qin Feiyang waved his hand and sent the 4 people out. The 4 of them immediately sneaked towards the sacred mountain. When the 4 people disappeared from the screen, Lu Jing withdrew his gaze and looked at Qin Feiyang. He asked, "You purposely sent them away, right?" "Yes." Qin Feiyang nodded. Lu Jing said, "So, you plan to sell them?" "No. I do need their help. Because now, the situation has changed. The mysterious lady came to the Mu clan while the fake god of the tower came to the Mu clan and saved Miss Longfeng's teacher. In other words, the mysterious lady's side now has 3 fake gods. And the Mu clan, although there are 3 people in the Endless Ocean now, the Mu clan's great ancestor is only a 9-star combat emperor and can't intervene at all. So, in the face of the numerical advantage, Yiglao and the white-robed old man are definitely not the mysterious lady's opponents. But if the deputy pavilion master and the other 2 also join their battle, the situation will become different." Qin Feiyang smiled. "I understand. You want these 3 forces to fight to the death first, and then you go out and reap the benefits in the end." Lu Jing suddenly understood. "Yes. Taking the opportunity to save Miss Longfeng's teacher, the mysterious lady must now think that she is the biggest winner this time. But she doesn't know that she will be the biggest loser this time. Because the divine crystal will fall into my hands in the end." Qin Feiyang sneered. Lu Jing said, "What about Yan Wei's clansmen? They are still in the mysterious lady's hands now. I didn't have a choice in the past, but now, I have the ancient pagoda. No matter how many people there are, it can accommodate them. When we go to the Endless Ocean, I will find an opportunity to transfer all of them to the ancient pagoda first. And I sent Gongsun Bei away this time. Actually, there is another matter. Qin Feiyang said. What is it? Lu Zheng was suspicious. Fire Qilin. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed. He had always remembered that fire Qilin in his heart, and this was undoubtedly the best opportunity. Fire Qilin. Lu Zheng's eyes trembled. There was such a divine beast on the forgotten continent. Qin Feiyang flew the ancient castle to the herb field while taking out an image crystal to send a message to the Viper. Buzz. It didn't take long for Viper's shadow to appear. Qin Feiyang asked, "Where are you now?" Viper smiled and said, "Strolling around the city, and learning about the Mu family's situation." Huh. Qin Feiyang was stunned. He thought that Viper was still in the Holy Mountain. The Mu family's patriarch just asked me at the beginning, and then he didn't care about me anymore. I was bored in the Holy Mountain, so I left by myself. During this time, he didn't send anyone to find me. Viper said. Qin Feiyang and Lu Zheng looked at each other. So, all the worries at the beginning were just them scaring themselves. It seems that sometimes, it's better not to think too much about the problem. Qin Feiyang smiled bitterly and looked at Viper. Now I will give you another task. What task? Hearing that there was something important to do, Viper also stopped playing around. The fire Qilin should also be locked somewhere in the Holy Mountain. You have to find a way to find it. Qin Feiyang said. Viper was taken aback and frowned. The fire Qilin is a divine beast, the Mu family will definitely hide it carefully. I'm afraid it will be difficult to find it. Even if it's harder than climbing the sky, we still have to find it. Qin Feiyang said. Well, I will try my best. As soon as there is news, I will immediately send you a message. Viper nodded, and the shadow immediately dissipated. Little cousin, do you think the fake god of the same period as the white-robed old man that the mysterious lady mentioned is still alive? Lu Zheng suddenly said. I don't know. Qin Feiyang shook his head. If he's not dead, then wouldn't it be fun for Gongsun Bei to destroy the stone tower in the Holy Mountain? Lu Zheng joked. Don't gloat. If he's not dead, not only Gongsun Bei will be in trouble, but we will also be in big trouble. Qin Feiyang said in a deep voice. What are you afraid of? At worst, we don't want the divine crystals, we can just escape back to the great Qin Empire. What can they do to us? They can only stare. However, we can just leave, but the main tower and the mysterious lady can't. They will definitely face the revenge of the Mu family. And it will be a comprehensive revenge. I'm really looking forward to it. Lu Zheng chuckled. Qin Feiyang looked at him strangely. This guy really wanted to see the world in chaos. He smiled and said, now that you mention it, I can't help but look forward to it. What could be more exciting than the three forces going all out? However, if the three forces really went all out, then he wouldn't escape back to the great Qin Empire as Lu Zheng said. Because if the three forces were to fight, the final result would be a situation where both jade and common stone would be destroyed. At that time, who would benefit? Of course, it would be him. It wasn't in his character not to take advantage of the situation. During the conversation, the ancient castle had arrived above the herb field. At this moment, there was no one in the herb field. It was dead silent. Qin Feiyang and the others looked at the stalks of medicinal herbs that were swaying in the wind and overflowing with multicolored light. They felt as if there were many slender and elegant beautiful girls waving at them. Young master, let me out. Dan Wangkai put down what he was doing and ran to Qin Feiyang's side. He stared at the herb field in the image and his breathing became rapid. The white-eyed wolf, pangolin, winged snow eagle, and a group of fierce beasts also got up one after another. Their eyes were full of green light and they even drooled. Qin Feiyang glanced at everyone, shook his head and said with a smile, the battle on the sacred mountain will start soon, so you have to move quickly. Dan Wangkai and the other beasts nodded. Qin Feiyang waved his hand and everyone appeared above the herb field in an instant. Then, without saying a word, they directly rushed to the herb field like a group of hungry tigers and wolves. Me too, Lu Jing roared, also extremely excited. Don't think about it, just stay in the castle quietly. Qin Feiyang smiled in ridicule and disappeared without a trace. Lu Zheng's face immediately looked like he had eaten a large pile of shit, becoming extremely ugly. Qin Feiyang, you bastard, then. Chapter 1330. However, no matter how dissatisfied Lu Zheng was, Qin Feiyang did not have time to deal with him. Inside the ancient pagoda, Qin Feiyang stood above the village and shouted, "All combat emperors, gather here." Whoosh! As soon as he finished speaking, many figures flew out from the village and landed in front of Qin Feiyang. They said respectfully, "Greetings, young lord." Qin Feiyang nodded and led everyone to appear above the herb field. He said, "Go and help. Don't hurt the roots." So many herbs. Everyone was dumbfounded. The herb field that Lu Hong had built outside the village had already surprised them. However, the herb field in front of them was dozens or even hundreds of times bigger than the one that Lu Hong had built. This was too shocking. Whoosh! Immediately after, everyone spread out and rushed into the herb field excitedly. They started to sweep the herbs crazily. Qin Feiyang stood above the herb field and paid attention to the situation around the herb field. At the same time, Gongsun Bei led the 3 deputy pavilion masters and successfully entered the sacred mountain. After all, the 3 deputy pavilion masters were false gods and they had deliberately hidden their auras. It was difficult for ordinary people to discover them. Gongsun Bei flew to a mountain top and stood at the edge of the cliff. He pointed at the 10 giant peaks and said to the 3 deputy pavilion masters, "The Mu clan's 1-star and 7-star combat emperors are in those 10 giant peaks." "How many are there?" the deputy pavilion master asked. Gongsun Bei said, "I haven't counted, so I'm not sure. I estimate that there should be more than 100,000. It doesn't matter if there are more than 1-star to 7-star combat emperors." The deputy pavilion master smiled disdainfully. He raised his head and looked at the stone towers on top of the 10 peaks. He asked, "That's our target this time?" "That's right. Qin Feiyang and I have done a preliminary calculation. In the 10 stone pagodas, there are 3,508-star combat emperors, 1,009-star combat emperors, and 509-star combat emperors." Gongsun Bei said in a low voice. When the 3 deputy pavilion masters heard this, their faces darkened. She never thought that the Mu family would have so many hidden experts. If this wasn't discovered in advance, it would be a disaster for their main pagoda when they go to war with the Mu family in the future. "The 3 of you, we have to kill them as soon as possible because we don't know if the Mu family still has any false gods." Gongsun Bei looked at the 3 of them with a serious expression. "Who?" The 3 vice pavilion masters looked at each other and exhaled deeply at the same time. Following closely, the 3 of them soared into the air, their eyes filled with killing intent. Boom! That terrifying divine might suddenly roared out from their bodies. The 3 of them waved their hands. Surges of pseudo-god realm force surged out like a tide, turning into a huge wave that engulfed the sky as it surged toward the 10 stone towers. What happened? As soon as the 3 people's divine might appeared, it immediately alarmed everyone in the holy mountain. One figure after another flew out from the cave abodes on the 10 giant mountains. They were the 1-star and 7-star combat emperors. His face was filled with bewilderment. However, when they saw the 3 vice pavilion masters standing in the sky, as well as the fake god force rushing toward the 10 stone towers, their expressions changed. Boom! Crack! How terrifying was the fake God realm force! The fake God force was earth-shattering as it blasted toward the first stone tower. Without any suspense, the stone tower was instantly shattered. None of the people inside were spared as they died on the spot. Following closely, the fake God force rushed toward the second stone tower. Its speed was as fast as lightning. In less than half a blink of an eye, the second stone tower was also shattered. Even a peak 9-star combat Emperor realm expert could not resist and was crushed into pieces by the false god's power. Not even his bones were left behind. Has it finally begun? Above the herb field, Qin Feiyang looked toward the direction of the holy mountain. His eyes flashed as he lowered his head to scan the herb field. Although the herb field was huge, there were thousands of combat emperors in the village. In addition, Dan Wankai, Wolf King, and other beasts, it would not take long. At this moment, more than half of the herb field had been swept clean. In the blink of an eye. Boom! The 3 pavilion masters had already destroyed the 8th stone pagoda with their faux god power. During this period, the people inside the stone tower also ran out after hearing the news. However, without exception, before they could run out of the stone tower, they were turned into ashes with the stone tower. Who are those 3 people? They actually dare to make a move on the holy mountain. The commotion on the holy mountain also alarmed the people in the city. People rose into the air and looked at the holy mountain, their faces full of surprise. Because the distance was too far, and the 3 vice pavilion masters had their backs to the city, people could not see their true faces. But they could clearly feel the divine might of the 3 people. The divine might was rolling, as if the gods had descended, making them feel despair. Boom! The 9th pagoda shattered into pieces with a deafening explosion. The people who had just run out did not have time to see the true faces of the 3 vice pavilion masters before they were annihilated with the stone tower. Bastard! All of a sudden, an angry roar resounded through the sky. Immediately after, the Mu family patriarch descended from the sky. But when he saw that it was the 3 vice pavilion masters, his face was full of surprise as he roared, "How did you get in?" Just in time. The vice pavilion master smiled coldly. With a wave of his big hand, a terrifying pressure rushed toward the Mu family patriarch. The Mu family patriarch saw that the situation was not good and quickly turned to escape. But he was just a 9-star combat emperor, how could he escape from the vice pavilion master? The pressure rolled out and directly imprisoned him in the void. What are you doing? The Mu family patriarch roared in shock and anger. Isn't it obvious? The vice pavilion master smiled coldly and his 5 fingers closed. The pressure was like an invisible big hand, firmly grasping the Mu family patriarch. The Mu family patriarch immediately flew toward the 3 people uncontrollably. Head pavilion master, you've gone too far. At the same time, the people in the 10th stone tower rushed out one after another, staring at the 3 vice pavilion masters and roaring. You still have the nerve to say that we've gone too far. My head pavilion master has always valued peace and has never taken the initiative to provoke the Mu family. But what about you? Not only did you steal the pill fire from the 9 areas behind our backs, but you also planted spies in my head pavilion master and even tried to steal the divine crystal. Tell me, who's the one who's gone too far? The vice pavilion master roared. The power of the false god flooded the sky, like a tsunami, rushing toward the 10th stone tower. Run! The Mu family patriarch roared anxiously. There was no need for him to remind them, the people in the 10th stone tower had already fled as soon as the vice pavilion master spoke. Among them, there were also dozens of 9-star combat emperor super experts. But in the face of the power of the false god, these super experts did not even have the slightest courage to fight. Although the false god was not a real war god, it was still half a war god. It was no exaggeration to say that in front of the false god, not to mention dozens of super experts, even hundreds or thousands of them were like ants, unable to withstand a single blow. However, although they desperately fled, in the end, they were not spared. The power of the false god, with a destructive aura, crushed with irresistible force. Crack! Ah! The stone tower was instantly shattered. At the same time, accompanied by a series of desperate screams, those who were fleeing died one after another, blood staining the vast sky. At this point, the 10 stone towers had all been destroyed. Not a single person was left inside, completely wiped out. And the whole process took less than 10 breaths. This also proved how terrifying the strength of the false god was. Killing a 9-star combat emperor was as easy as slaughtering a dog. Look at the Mu family patriarch. In less than 10 breaths, he had lost so many experts. Such a heavy loss made him directly enter a state of madness, his eyes bloodshot. Because the people in these 10 stone towers were the strongest battle strength of the Mu family. In order to cultivate these people, the Mu family had consumed more than half of their resources and efforts. However, in such a short period of time, all of them had lost their lives. To the Mu family, this was simply a fatal blow. "I won't let you go, today, none of you will leave here alive," he muttered to himself, and suddenly a monstrous aura rose from his body, and he shouted hysterically, "Go and ask Elder Feng to come out." Elder Feng. The vice pavilion master and the other two were surprised. Below, Gongsun Bei also frowned. But suddenly, he seemed to have thought of something, and his body trembled. He quickly flew up into the sky and landed in front of the vice pavilion master and the other two, and said in surprise, "It can't be Mu Changfeng, right?" Mu Changfeng. Hearing this name, the vice pavilion master and the other two's eyes trembled slightly, and their faces were full of fear. Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun were false gods at the same time. Now that Mu Changyun has stepped into the peak of the false god realm, if Mu Changfeng didn't die, then his current strength is definitely not worse than Mu Changyun. But why hasn't there been any news of him in the past 10,000 years? A black-clothed old man next to the vice pavilion master said in a deep voice. Because Elder Feng has been in seclusion to break through to the war god realm. He is also the most promising person in our Mu family to successfully break through to the war god realm. The Mu family patriarch laughed sinisterly. What? The black-clothed old man's face changed, and he said, "I thought his time was up, but I didn't expect him to be in seclusion to break through to the war god realm." At the same time, he glanced at the sacred mountain below and shouted, "Leave immediately." Whoosh! After that, the black-clothed old man waved his sleeve and swept Gongsun Bei and the Mu family patriarch up. The vice pavilion master and another old man followed closely behind. Gongsun Bei hurriedly said, "Where is Qin Feiyang? Should we leave him alone?" What? Qin Feiyang is also here. The Mu family patriarch was shocked and angry. But no one answered him. The black-clothed old man glanced at Gongsun Bei and said in a deep voice, "I have seen Mu Changfeng in the past, and I know very well how terrifying his strength is. If we don't leave in time, I'm afraid we will all die here, so now we can't care about Qin Feiyang, let him fend for himself here." He looked indifferent, and after he finished speaking, he looked up at the void above. Although he can't see the divine barrier, as a false god, he can clearly sense its location. Boom! It was also at this time. A terrifying divine might erupted from the depths of the holy mountain below. As soon as this divine might appeared, the entire city trembled. "Welcome, Elder Feng." The Mu family's 1-star to 7-star war emperors all knelt in the void at this moment, as if they were on a pilgrimage, and their expressions were incomparably sincere. Chapter 1331. The divine aura spread in all directions, shaking the heavens. Even Qin Feiyang and the others who were far away in the herbal field felt as if they were there. they couldn't help but feel fear and awe. Whoosh! Accompanied by two whistling sounds, Dan Wankai and the white-eyed wolf arrived and landed in front of Qin Feiyang. Excitement and bewilderment coexisted between the man and the wolf's expressions. The reason for their excitement was naturally the herbs in the herbal field. The surprise was because of the divine aura. The white-eyed wolf looked at the direction of the sacred mountain and said in a deep voice, "The Mu family is still hiding a false god." Dan Wankai said, "And judging from the aura, it is at least at the same level as the old man in white. Could it be the person that the mysterious lady mentioned?" The white-eyed wolf was surprised. "It should be him." Qin Feiyang said. "Then what should we do now? A false god realm super overlord is no joke. If we are not careful, we will all be finished." Dan Wankai said worriedly. Qin Feiyang pondered for a while and said, "Let's go down and see the situation first. How's your harvest?" Speaking of this, the man and the wolf couldn't help but get excited. Dan Wankai smiled and said, "I don't dare to say that there are a lot of herbs, but at least it will be enough for us to squander for a few hundred years. In other words, we don't need to look for herbs in these few hundred years." "A few hundred years," Qin Feiyang murmured and shook his head with a smile. "You are wrong." "What's wrong?" Dan Wankai was stunned and looked at him in confusion. "You only counted the people so far. Don't forget, there will be Yan Wei's people in the future." Qin Feiyang said with a smile. "Ah." Dan Wankai was stunned and then smiled bitterly. "Yan Wei's people, there are more than 1,000,000 of them. The number of herbs needed is not small. Actually, even if we include Yan Wei's clansmen, it won't be a big problem. After all, the most commonly used pills are grade 1 and grade 2 pills, such as body-tempering pills, qi-gathering pills, and healing pills. As for the herbs here, they are basically the most precious ones. Even the herbs for the battle qi pill are very rare. When the time comes, we can casually take a few potential pills or Juku yellow dragon pills and sell them. It will be enough for us to buy a large amount of medicinal ingredients for grade 1 and grade 2 medicinal pills." The white-eyed wolf grinned. "That makes sense." Qin Feiyang nodded. Whoosh! At this moment, the pangolin beasts, black dragon snakes, and the thousands of combat emperors in the village all returned one after another. They all looked like they were bathing in the spring breeze and were in high spirits. "Are you done?" Qin Feiyang glanced at everyone and asked with a smile. "Not a single one is left." The two-winged snow eagle chuckled. "All right then. You guys go and hand it over to Lu Hong and help her out while you're at it," Qin Feiyang instructed. After all, there were too many medicinal ingredients. If Lu Hong were to rely on herself, she would be too busy. Everyone nodded. Qin Feiyang waved his hand. After sending everyone to the ancient pagoda, he entered the ancient castle and quietly flew toward the sacred mountain. "Qin Feiyang, I'll fight you to the death." Lu Zheng stared at Qin Feiyang aggressively. There were so many medicinal ingredients and he didn't even give him a single one. He had never seen such an outrageous person. However, although he gritted his teeth, he didn't dare to make a move. Because, with his current strength, he was no match for Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang wasn't in the mood to care about him. While driving the ancient castle, he took out the image crystal and sent a message to Viper. Buzz. Viper's virtual image appeared very quickly. "Have you found the fire Qilin?" Qin Feiyang asked. "No." Viper shook his head. There was a trace of irritation between his eyebrows. "Now the Mu family is in a mess. No one will care about you, so don't worry. Take your time. But you have to be careful. A battle between fake gods is not child's play. If you're not careful, you'll die," Qin Feiyang warned. "I know." Viper nodded. After saying that, the virtual image dissipated. At the same time, the deputy pavilion master and the other two sensed the divine power and their expressions changed. The old man in black roared, "That's right, this is Mu Changfeng's aura. I'm too familiar with it. I'll never forget it. This damn old bastard, so many years have passed and he's still alive. It's really like the old saying, good people don't live long, but scourges live for thousands of years." The other old man's face was gloomy. The deputy pavilion master shouted, "Don't talk nonsense. Hurry up and break the divine power barrier." Boom! The three of them looked up at the sky, their eyes shining fiercely. The next moment, the power of the fake gods erupted like a volcano, turning into a torrent that blasted into the sky. Wherever it went, the void cracked crazily. Boom! Almost in the blink of an eye, the power of the fake gods blasted onto the divine power barrier. The divine power barrier that was originally hidden in the void immediately emerged, emitting a dazzling divine light. However, although the deputy pavilion master and the other two joined forces, the divine power barrier was unimaginably tough. It actually blocked the power of the three fake gods. Boom! The divine power below the sacred mountain grew stronger and stronger. The world trembled as if a peerless demon god was awakening. "Put in more effort," the deputy pavilion master shouted. "It's useless." This divine power barrier was jointly set up by Elder Feng and Elder Yun. Their cultivation has reached the peak of the fake god realm. Unless you're also peak fake god realm experts, you'll never be able to break this barrier. And inside this divine power barrier, there's no way to open a portal to the outside world. Right now, you're like turtles in a jar, unable to escape even if you have wings. Do you feel despair? Ha ha ha, this is the price you have to pay for provoking the Mu family. Just wait for your death. The Mu family's patriarch laughed, his face full of sarcasm. The deputy pavilion master and the other two looked at him fiercely. Their fake god power poured out unreservedly, crazily bombarding the divine power barrier. With a boom, the divine power barrier suddenly distorted. Seeing this, the deputy pavilion master and the other two, as well as Gong Sun Bei, stared closely at the divine power barrier. They were anxiously roaring in their hearts. However, although the divine power barrier was distorted, there was no sign of it cracking. It can't be broken even like this. Could it be that we can only wait for death? The deputy pavilion master murmured. But suddenly, he turned his head to look at Gong Sun Bei and shouted, "Quickly send a message to Qin Feiyang and ask him to come and pick us up." Gong Sun Bei quickly took out an image crystal. That little bastard really came. The Mu family's patriarch's eyes flashed with murderous intent as he sneered, "Are you scared out of your wits? With Qin Feiyang's little bit of cultivation, how could he break this divine barrier?" He still didn't know that Mu Yuan had been killed. Gong Sun Bei ignored him and stared at the image crystal, roaring in his heart. "What are you doing? Hurry up and respond to me." However, Qin Feiyang's shadow didn't appear for a long time. Because now, he has already rushed to the holy mountain and can see several people, so there's no need to respond to Gong Sun Bei. But, seeing that Qin Feiyang didn't respond for a long time, the deputy pavilion master's heart sank. This little bastard, he won't sell us out, right? The black-clothed man was furious and roared, "Bastard, we shouldn't have trusted him anymore." The other old man's face was also gloomy. But suddenly, his body shook as he looked up at the Mu family's patriarch and shouted, "Quickly look for his Qianquan bag. He's the patriarch of the Mu family, he must have the key to open the divine power barrier." Gong Sun Bei quickly stepped forward and grabbed the Mu Jia's Qianquan bag. He lowered his head and searched for it. "Don't waste your time. Although I'm the patriarch of the Mu family, I'm only the patriarch in name. I don't have any real power at all. The real people in charge are the old ancestors. And the key to open the divine power barrier, besides Mu Yuan, only Elder Feng and Elder Yun have it. The Mu family's patriarch sneered. Of course, the deputy pavilion master and the other two didn't believe him and looked at Gongsun Bei anxiously. No. A few seconds later. Gongsun Bei's face turned pale as he looked up at the three and shook his head. Damn it. The three suddenly became annoyed. At this time, the divine power that rushed out from the ground has reached a level that's beyond their reach. It's even stronger than the peak of the pseudo-god realm. Just half a step away from the real god of war. The deputy pavilion master and the other two panicked to the extreme. The divine power barrier can't be broken, and their only hope, Qin Feiyang, didn't come to pick them up. Could it be that they can only wait for death? Time flies, and the sun flees. I didn't expect this retreat to last for more than 10,000 years. Suddenly, an old voice sounded from below. The voice was very ethereal, giving people a feeling of unreality. And in those words, there was a bit of loneliness, a bit of disappointment, and a bit of emotion. Elder Feng. As soon as he heard this voice, the Mu family's patriarch's body trembled with excitement, and his face was filled with ecstasy. But Gongsun Bei and the deputy pavilion master were terrified in their hearts. They looked down and saw a white-haired old man standing on the ground below. The old man's hands were behind his back, his body was straight, and his snow-white hair fluttered in the wind. He was like a god, exuding an otherworldly aura. He glanced at the surrounding mountains and rivers, as if he was immersed in his memories, and his eyes were a bit blurred. At this time, Qin Feiyang drove the ancient castle and also came to the sky above the holy mountain. The white-haired old man also immediately entered the scene. Is it him? Qin Feiyang's face immediately sank. This person's aura was too strong, and it gave him the feeling of a god of death. A very terrifying person, he should be on par with Grandpa. Lu Zheng said in a deep voice. What? Qin Feiyang's face was stunned, and he turned to look at Lu Zheng and said in surprise, Grandpa is so strong. Yes. Lu Zheng nodded. Qin Feiyang was dumbfounded. He didn't expect Grandpa to be so strong. But then, a burst of anger rose in his heart, and he said, since Grandpa is so strong, why didn't he come to help me and my mother all these years? Why are you angry? Do you understand the situation? Grandpa is a very sentimental person. You are Grandpa's biological grandson, and your mother is Grandpa's biological daughter. If he could help, would he not? Lu Zheng said angrily. What do you mean? Qin Feiyang frowned. Everyone has their own difficulties, and Grandpa is no exception. In short, remember, Grandpa has never forgotten you and your mother. Chapter 1332. Qin Feiyang looked deeply at Lu Zheng, then looked away and did not continue to ask. But in his heart, he really could not understand. What kind of difficulties would make a person not even care about his family? Outside, the atmosphere was extremely solemn. Gongsun Bei and the other two looked nervously at the white-haired old man, thinking of a way to escape. Thousands of years have passed. How many old friends are still alive? The white-haired old man sighed and looked up at the black-clothed old man and the other old man. We are old friends, but why do you have to kill us all? Old friends? The black-clothed old man sneered. Since you are old friends, why did your Mu family play tricks behind the scenes and steal the divine crystal and the heavenly star flame? There is a good saying, those who are able to live. The white-clothed old man said. What a joke. Back then, if my main tower did not take your Mu family in, would your Mu family be where it is today? Is this how you repay your benefactor? The black-clothed old man shouted. Took my Mu family in, the white-clothed old man murmured, as if thinking of something, and did not speak for a long time. You have nothing to say, right? Your Mu family is a white-eyed wolf. The black-clothed old man sneered. Shut up! The white-clothed old man shouted, and his temperament changed drastically. He felt that the black-clothed old man's words had crossed his bottom line. If you have the face to do it, why are you afraid of others talking about it? The black-clothed old man sneered. What do you know? What right do you have to talk big here? I can tell you that the Mu family being able to stay on the Forgotten Continent has nothing to do with your main tower. The white-clothed old man sneered. Haha, hearing this, the black-clothed old man laughed as if he had heard the funniest joke in the world. Without my main tower's permission, how could your Mu family have a foothold here? Don't think too highly of your main tower. This is purely a deal. The white-clothed old man said. A deal? The black-clothed old man was stunned. Gong Sun Bei, the deputy tower master, and the other old man were also surprised. What deal? Inside the ancient castle, Qin Feiyang and the others also had suspicious looks on their faces. Didn't mysterious madam say that the Mu family has something on the chief pagoda master? Could it be that this weakness is related to the deal that this person mentioned? Lu Jing suddenly said. Qin Feiyang thought about it and nodded. That's possible. Outside. The white-haired old man closed his eyes and took a deep breath. The anger on his face quickly disappeared. Immediately after, he opened his eyes and looked at the vice pavilion master and the others. He said indifferently, now that things have come to this, there's no point in saying anything more. Hearing this, the three vice pavilion masters immediately went into battle mode. Since ancient times, no one has ever dared to come to the Mu clan to cause trouble, let alone kill people. My Mu family is born to be the king. You dare to invade my Mu Jia's prestige, even your main pagoda cannot forgive you. The white-robed old man's voice was very calm, and his expression was also very indifferent, but it gave people a great sense of danger. It felt like there's a peerless beast lurking in his body, baring its fangs and choosing people to eat. The vice pavilion master looked dignified and whispered. Gong Sun Bei, go find Qin Feiyang, we'll hold him back. Can you guys do it? Gong Sun Bei was worried. The vice pavilion master secretly said. Although he's stronger than us, the three of us should be able to hold him back for a while. Well, you guys be careful. Gong Sun Bei secretly exhorted before turning around and flying away. Don't even think about going anywhere. The white-robed old man took a step forward and walked up to the sky step by step. It felt like there was an invisible ladder under his feet. Every step was steady and powerful. The vice pavilion master was shocked and quickly grabbed the Mu family's patriarch. If you dare to move, I'll kill him. However, the white-robed old man turned a deaf ear. He didn't even look at the Mu family's patriarch. His eyes were cold and ruthless. It seems that we can't threaten him, do it. The vice pavilion master's heart sank as he shouted. The black-robed old man said. Don't move, look after the Mu family's patriarch, we'll test his strength first. Okay. The vice pavilion master nodded and immediately retreated with the Mu family's patriarch. Boom! The black-robed old man and the other old man looked at each other and burst out with divine power. They joined forces to kill the white-robed old man. Those who block the way, die. The white-robed old man looked at the two, his expression was still calm. He raised his hands and clapped towards the two. Who will live and who will die is still uncertain. The two roared. A fist blasted out, the power of the false god roared in all directions, shattering the void and shaking the sky. The Mu family's patriarch's face changed and shouted. Elder Feng, you can't fight here, you'll hurt our family. No one can hurt them. The white-robed old man was full of confidence. Boom! In an instant, the fist and palm collided. With the three of them as the center, a wave of destructive energy surged out in all directions. Crack! The void was like a mirror, crazily shattering. When the 1-star and 7-star combat emperors who were watching below saw this scene, their faces turned pale and they all fled for their lives. However, at this moment, the white-robed old man raised his hand and waved gently. A supreme power swept out in all directions and the shocking battle wave instantly disappeared. What a powerful move! Elder Feng is indeed an invincible existence. Seeing this, the faces of the Mu family members were full of awe. Puff! At the same time, the black-robed old man and the other old man spat out a mouthful of blood. Their bodies flew out and their faces were slightly pale. However, this kind of injury was nothing to them. The black-robed old man said in a low voice, "It's not like we can't fight." The other old man nodded and took a healing pill. Divine power burst out from his body again. The black-robed old man's body shook and the power of the false god broke out from his body like a tide. The ground below shook at this moment. However, just as he was about to attack the white-robed old man again, he saw Gongsun Bei standing in the distance and looking at them worriedly. "Don't worry about us. We can hold them back. Let's go and find Qin Feiyang. We can only leave the Mu family if we find him," the black-robed old man secretly urged. Then, with the other old man, they charged toward the white-robed old man with a monstrous aura. Gongsun Bei quivered and came to his senses. He quickly turned around and flew toward the direction of the herb field. This was because he knew that Qin Feiyang would definitely not let go of the Mu family's herb field. He should be in the herb field now. "Don't go. I'm right next to you." However, at this moment, Qin Feiyang's voice rang in Gongsun Bei's mind. "Next to you?" Gongsun Bei was slightly stunned. He immediately stopped and said, "Then come out quickly and take us away from the Mu family. My subordinate hasn't returned yet, so I can't leave for now," Qin Feiyang said. He was referring to Viper. All this time, he had never called Viper by his real name in front of Gongsun Bei, including Dan Wangkai. Therefore, until now, Gongsun Bei still didn't know the true identity of Viper and Dan Wangkai. How long do we have to wait? Gongsun Bei frowned and was anxious. "When he comes back, I will take you away immediately. Don't worry. Judging from the current situation, the deputy pavilion master's life won't be in danger," Qin Feiyang said. Gongsun Bei turned to look at the black-robed old man. Although it looked like what Qin Feiyang said, he couldn't help but worry. Whoosh! He turned into a stream of light and landed in front of the deputy pavilion master and the Mu family's lord. "Huh!" Seeing Gongsun Bei coming back, the deputy pavilion master was slightly stunned. "Didn't I ask you to find Qin Feiyang? He has been here for a long time, but he has been hiding in the castle," Gongsun Bei said. This, the deputy pavilion master was shocked. Gongsun Bei said, "He is waiting for someone. When this person comes back, he will take us away." The deputy pavilion master was relieved and immediately told the black-robed old man and the Mu family's lord. When the two heard this, their hearts that had been hanging in the air were finally put down. As long as Qin Feiyang didn't betray them, then everything would be fine. Without any worries, the two completely let go of their hands and feet and fought madly with the white-robed old man. The white-robed old man's means were indeed amazing. Although the fluctuations of the three's battle were enough to destroy the world, they couldn't hurt anyone from the Mu family. Something's not right. Inside the castle, Lu Jing suddenly frowned. Qin Feiyang was taken aback and asked suspiciously, "What's wrong?" Although it's difficult to become a god, there are hundreds of peak 9-star combat emperors in the Mu family. There are so many peak 9-star combat emperors, but why are there only 3 false gods, Yiglao, the white-robed old man, and this person? Moreover, the white-robed old man and this person were already false gods 10,000 years ago. That is to say, in the past 10,000 years, the Mu family has only given birth to one false god, Yiglao. Do you think it's possible? Lu Zheng said. Hearing Lu Zheng's words, Qin Feiyang also felt a little strange. But if the Mu family really had other false gods, why didn't they appear? One must know. This was not a trivial matter. It was related to the rise and fall of the Mu family. No matter who it was, they couldn't sit back and do nothing. Moreover, the white-haired old man was the strongest existence in the Mu family. Even he had come out, how could the other false gods be indifferent? After thinking about it, Qin Feiyang couldn't figure it out. In the end, he could only conclude that perhaps in the past 10,000 years, the Mu family really only gave birth to one false god, Yiglao. If that was the case, then it was naturally the best. Boom! Crack! The confrontation between the three false gods shook the world. In the void, the wind whistled, and the air rushed to the sky. The entire Mu family was watching this battle from a distance at this moment. And their eyes were full of hatred. This was hatred for the Master Tower, and also hatred for Qin Feiyang. Although Qin Feiyang hadn't shown up, now, they all knew that Qin Feiyang was also in the Mu family. Buzz! Suddenly, Qin Feiyang's image crystal rang. He quickly took out the image crystal and merged his battle chi into it. The next moment, the shadow of the venomous snake appeared. Viper immediately said, I found the fire Qilin. Qin Feiyang was refreshed and hurriedly asked, where is it? Viper said, I'll give you the coordinates, you can teleport directly. Okay. Qin Feiyang nodded. Chapter 1333. After giving Qin Feiyang the coordinates, the phantom of the snake quickly dissipated. Qin Feiyang kept the image crystal and looked at the white-haired old man in the image. His eyes shone brightly. Suddenly, his figure flashed and left the ancient castle. He appeared in the void not far from Gongsun Bei and the other two. Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang's appearance attracted everyone's attention. However, their eyes were filled with hatred. The white-haired old man was also looking at Qin Feiyang while fighting with the black-clothed old man. His old eyes were filled with curiosity. For the past 10,000 years, he had been in seclusion. He had only heard of Qin Feiyang. This was the first time he had seen Qin Feiyang in person. You look like your ancestor. Suddenly, the white-haired old man spoke. Qin Feiyang was stunned. He looked at the white-haired old man and frowned, You've seen my ancestor. The white-haired old man said, If I hadn't, I wouldn't have said such a thing. His expression was still calm. It was as if there was nothing that could change his emotions. Qin Feiyang took a deep look at him before opening a teleportation gate. Where are you going? Gongsun Bei quickly asked. To pick someone up. After Qin Feiyang finished speaking, he stepped into the portal without looking back. Little bastard, die. However, there was a sudden change. More than 10 seven-star combat emperors soared into the sky and pounced towards Qin Feiyang with murderous intent. The deputy pavilion master was shocked and quickly said to Gongsun Bei, Nothing can happen to him now. Go and help him. Gongsun Bei nodded and immediately rushed towards Qin Feiyang. However, Qin Feiyang's face was filled with disdain. He glanced at the seven-star combat emperors and sneered, You dare to kill me? Boom! The soaring dragon art was activated. His cultivation level instantly soared to 3-star combat emperor. Roar! In the next moment, along with a deafening dragon roar, the divine dragon seal appeared and exuded a destructive aura. Boom! Immediately after, Qin Fei waved his hand and the divine dragon seal expanded with the wind. In an instant, it grew to the size of a few thousand feet. Like a towering mountain, it carried the rolling dragon's might and suppressed the dozen 7-star combat emperors. He's just a 3-star combat emperor. Don't be afraid of him. One of them roared. That's right. Everyone, let's kill him together. Kill. The combat emperors roared and their battle cries shook boom. In the blink of an eye, more than a dozen perfect battle arts appeared. Their auras surged into the sky as they blasted toward the divine dragon seal. You want to shake a tree? How naive. Qin Feiyang smiled coldly. The divine dragon seal. The perfect battle combat perfect combat emperors was destroyed Feiyang Bang. More than a dozen people vomited blood as they looked at the descending divine dragon seal, their faces filled with disbelief. They even forgot to dodge. They were about to be killed by the divine dragon seal. However, at this moment, the white-haired elder waved his hand and a false god's force flashed across the sky and hit the divine dragon seal. Boom! The divine dragon seal shattered. Qin Feiyang turned his head and looked at the white-haired elder as purple-gold dragon blood dripped from the corner of his mouth. Purple-gold dragon blood. Seeing the purple-gold dragon blood on the corner of Qin Feiyang's mouth, the white-haired elder's expression changed for the first time. Purple-gold dragon blood, such a distant memory, the white-haired elder murmured, and a murderous intent appeared in his eyes. He sent the black-clothed elder and the white-haired elder flying with a palm and charged towards Qin Feiyang. Stop him! The black-clothed elder roared. After stabilizing his body, he immediately chased after the white-haired elder. The other elder did the same. At the same time, the Vice Pavilion Master's face darkened. He destroyed the Mu family head's Qi Si and threw him to Gongsun Bay. Then, he took a step forward and stood in front of the white-clothed elder. Get lost! The white-clothed elder roared. His murderous intent was no longer concealed. He raised his hand and waved it. The false god's power surged and rushed towards the Vice Pavilion Master. You want me to get lost? Let's see if you have the ability to do so. The Vice Pavilion Master's eyes shot out divine light. The false god's power gathered on his fist and a destructive aura was released as he punched out. Boom! But the result was, with a loud bang, the Vice Pavilion Master was directly blasted away with blood gushing out of his mouth. A person who has just stepped into the false god realm dares to fight with me head-on. Who gave you the courage? The white-haired elder's eyes were sharp. He could tell the Vice Pavilion Master's cultivation at a glance. I admit that with my strength, I can't pose any threat to you, but don't forget that I have two companions. The Vice Pavilion Master wiped the blood from his mouth and stared at the white-haired elder with a sneer. That's right. Even if the three of us join forces, you may not be able to gain the upper hand. The black-clothed elder and the other elder also chased after the white-haired elder with a fierce aura. Without wasting any time, they joined forces with the Vice Pavilion Master to attack the white-haired elder. Looks like you won't get what you want. Qin Feiyang looked at the white-haired elder and sneered. He then turned around and stepped into the portal without looking back. Interesting. However, seeing Qin Feiyang disappear, the white-haired elder calmed down. If one observed carefully, they would even notice that there was a hint of playfulness in his eyes. Back to Qin Feiyang. At this moment, he was teleported into a secret passage. The secret passage was 3 to 4 meters wide and was paved with a layer of hard black stone slabs. There were signs of severe weathering. On both sides of the walls, there were candles hanging at intervals. The candles flickered, making the secret passage somewhat eerie. I'm here. Viper's voice sounded. Qin Feiyang raised his head and looked over. He saw a black stone door at the end of the tunnel ahead. It emitted an ancient and heavy aura. Viper was standing in front of the stone door at this moment. Qin Feiyang took a step forward and landed beside Viper. He asked, "Where's the fire Qilin?" "It's inside here." Viper pointed to the stone door and said, "I just found this place and faintly heard the roar of the fire Qilin inside." "Roar," before his voice fell. Behind the door, there was another roar. Perhaps because the stone door had a soundproof effect, it wasn't very clear. But Qin Feiyang and Viper clearly heard it. And Qin Feiyang had seen the fire qilin and was particularly familiar with its roar. He quickly looked at Viper and asked, "How do we open the stone door?" "I don't know. Since I sent you the message, I have been looking for the mechanism to open the stone door, but I haven't found it. I think it may need the blood of the white-haired elder to open it," Viper said. "White-haired elder?" Qin Feiyang was stunned. "This is the place where the white-haired elder is in seclusion. Before, I walked around the holy mountain and didn't find the fire qilin, so I have been wondering where the Wuxia would keep the fire qilin. But when I saw the white-haired elder, I guessed that the fire qilin was most likely with him. After all, the fire qilin is one of the most noble mythological beasts in the world. It's proud and won't easily submit to anyone. The Wuxia will definitely send the strongest person to subdue it. So, I looked for it. I didn't expect that I guessed right." Viper laughed. "Smart." Qin Feiyang gave him a thumbs up. "But the problem now is, if there is no way to open this stone door, even if the fire qilin is inside, we can't save it." Viper was a bit confused. Qin Feiyang looked at the stone door and turned his head to look at Viper strangely. Viper didn't feel anything at first, but slowly his whole body became uncomfortable and asked, "Why are you looking at me like that?" Qin Feiyang said, "Before we separated, what did I give you?" Viper was stunned. He looked at Qin Feiyang suspiciously, then lowered his head and pondered. Suddenly, he seemed to remember something. His eyes lit up. He looked up at Qin Feiyang and said, "Chang Shui." "Yes. With Chang Shui in your hand, what can't you open?" Qin Feiyang laughed. Viper smiled awkwardly and said, "I was too anxious just now, I didn't even think of Chang Shui." Qin Feiyang shook his head and smiled, "You have to be calm in the face of trouble, you have to pay attention to this in the future." "I will remember." Viper nodded. He immediately took out Chang Shui, stepped forward and waved it at the stone door. Clang! For a moment, the fire splashed and dust flew all over the sky. Bang! In less than 5 breaths. The stone door was accompanied by a loud noise. It collapsed into countless pieces. When the stone door collapsed, Qin Feiyang immediately sensed the fire qilin's breath. But the breath was very weak. Qin Feiyang waved his hand, the dust dissipated, and a huge underground grotto appeared in front of Qin Feiyang and Viper's eyes. The grotto's diameter was 500 to 600 feet, and at the bottom of the center, there was a stone platform of more than 100 feet in size. And on the stone platform, there was a ferocious beast lying on its stomach. It was more than 3 meters long, its whole body was like fire, it was extraordinary, and there was a natural divine qi on its body. Who else could it be but the fire qilin? But at this moment, the fire qilin's 4 limbs were tied with an iron chain. The 4 iron chains were as black as ink, as thick as an adult's arm, exuding a hidden aura. The other end was firmly fixed on the stone walls around the grotto. "It's really the fire qilin." Viper's eyes were shining. At the same time, the fire qilin also raised its head and looked at Qin Feiyang and Viper. Immediately, its feeble and lifeless eyes glowed with dazzling divine light. "Why are you here?" The fire qilin's voice sounded in Qin Feiyang's mind. Although it had only seen Qin Feiyang once, it had a deep impression of Qin Feiyang. Because not only Qin Feiyang could feel an inexplicable sense of familiarity from the fire qilin, but the fire qilin could also feel an inexplicable sense of familiarity from Qin Feiyang. "I'm here to save you." Qin Feiyang laughed. "Save me?" The fire qilin couldn't help but be absent-minded. But when it saw Qin Feiyang jumping down from above, it suddenly changed color and roared, "Don't come down." But it was too late. Qin Feiyang hit the void. In the void, a divine barrier suddenly appeared. This is the divine barrier that Mu Changfeng set up before he left. With your ability, there is no way to break it. Moreover, as long as you touch this divine barrier, he will immediately sense it. His strength is too terrifying, you can't save me. Hurry up and leave, don't sacrifice your life in vain. The Fire Qilin said. Hearing this. Chapter 1334. Outside. Just as Qin Feiyang crashed into the barrier, the white-haired old man who was fighting with the other three immediately sensed it. But he didn't stop Qin Feiyang. If you can break my divine power barrier with your strength, then what's wrong with letting you save the Fire Qilin? The white-haired old man mumbled. It wasn't that he looked down on Qin Feiyang, but that he had full confidence in himself. Inside the cave. Hearing Qin Feiyang's words, the Fire Qilin was very touched. As for Qin Feiyang, he was staring at the divine power barrier with flickering eyes. Suddenly, he took out the token. Although the barrier outside was set up by the white-robed old man and the white-haired old man, since this token could open the barrier outside, it should be able to open the barrier here as well. In his palm, battle chi surged and entered the token. Whoosh! A dazzling divine light shot out from the token and merged with the divine power barrier. But when the divine light entered the barrier, it was like a stone sinking into the sea. There was no reaction at all, let alone breaking the barrier. It didn't work. Qin Feiyang was stunned. It's useless. I appreciate your kindness, but this is really not a place to stay for long. The Fire Qilin urged. Don't worry, that old man is fighting with the false god of the main tower. He doesn't have time to care about us. Qin Feiyang smiled and comforted. The Fire Qilin said, even so, how can you break the barrier? If you can't break the barrier, everything will be in vain. Don't worry, there must be a way. Qin Feiyang whispered and suddenly looked at Chang Shui in Viper's hand. He reached out and said, give it to me. Viper quickly handed Chang Shui to Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang stared at Chang Shui and said with a pleading tone, I don't know if you can hear me, but I really hope that you can help me again. Chang Shui was indifferent and didn't respond. Please. As long as you help me this time, I will never trouble you again. Qin Feiyang said. Viper's expression changed as he hurriedly said, young master, you can't do that. The price is too high. One had to know. Chang Shui was omnipotent. No matter how big of a problem Qin Feiyang encountered, as long as Chang Shui was there, it could be easily solved. And now, in order to save the Fire Qilin, Qin Feiyang made such a promise, which meant that he would have one less life-saving talisman in the future. I know what I'm doing. Qin Feiyang said. Ever since he met the Fire Qilin, including this time, he had only met the Fire Qilin twice. But for some reason, the Fire Qilin was very important to him. He wanted to give up, but he couldn't. However, it wasn't because he coveted the Fire Qilin as a divine beast and wanted to take it for his own use. It was because he had an inexplicable concern for the Fire Qilin in his heart. It was as if there was some kind of unerasable bond between him and the Fire Qilin. I'm begging you. This is really the last time I'm begging you for help. Qin Feiyang looked at Chang Shui and said with an incomparably sincere tone. Clang! Chang Shui was silent for a moment, then suddenly rose into the air, releasing a hazy white milky light, giving off a sacred and inviolable feeling. Qin Feiyang was overjoyed. Chang Shui took the initiative to wake up, which meant that it agreed to help him. Thank you. Qin Feiyang bowed. Clang! Chang Shui trembled slightly, as if it was responding to him. Then it turned in the air and slashed at the divine force barrier. With a loud bang, the divine force barrier shattered. Damn! Viper's eyes almost popped out. Even the divine force barrier set up by a peak semi-divinity realm super overlord could be broken so easily. What kind of weapon was this dagger? Similarly, the fire Qilin was also dumbfounded. At the same time, outside, the white-haired old man was fighting with the 3 deputy pavilion masters. But suddenly, his body shook and he spat out a mouthful of blood. What's going on? The 3 deputy pavilion masters were confused. Although the 3 of them had joined forces, they had always been at a disadvantage when facing the powerful white-haired old man. They were very sure that whether it was now or before, they did not cause any injuries to the white-haired old man. But why did he suddenly spit out blood? Moreover, his face was a little pale. How is this possible, at this moment? The white-haired old man's mind was in a mess. The divine power enchantment had actually been broken. A mere battle emperor was actually able to break through the barrier he had set up. What kind of joke was this? How could he have this ability? At this moment, his confidence was ruthlessly destroyed by Qin Feiyang. He could not accept this fact. His mind was in a mess. He even forgot that he was fighting with the 3 deputy pavilion masters. Although I don't know why he suddenly became like this is a good opportunity. Attack! Seeing this, the deputy pavilion masters sent a message to the 2 old men in black. The 2 old men in black also understood. Boom! The 3 of them attacked at the same time and hit the white-haired old man's chest with all their might. The white-haired old man seemed to have lost his senses and did not notice the 3 deputy pavilion masters at all. The 3 deputy pavilion masters' eyes were filled with murderous intent and the power of the false god roared out from their palms without reservation. Elder Feng, what are you doing? Quickly fight back. Seeing this scene, someone below roared. The white-haired old man suddenly came back to his senses. But it was too late to fight back now. But, relying on his tyrannical strength, he took a step forward and dodged the palm of another old man. He only took the palm of the deputy pavilion master and the old man in black to reduce the damage. But even so, he was still sent flying by the deputy pavilion master and the old man in black. Blood splattered everywhere on his chest and his flesh was badly mutilated. Even his heart had been shattered. Boom! He was like a meteorite that smashed into a giant mountain below. The giant mountain collapsed and dust filled the sky. He was considered powerful. At the critical moment, he dodged the palm of the other old man. Otherwise, even if he did not die, he would have been fatally injured. Quickly chase after him. The deputy pavilion master shouted. Experts at the false god level were naturally good at seizing the opportunity. Take advantage of your illness and kill you. The 3 of them swooped down toward the white-haired old man. I'll deal with you later. The white-haired old man rushed out of the dust and looked at the 3 of them coldly. Then, he opened a portal. Don't even think about leaving. The 3 deputy pavilion masters waved their hands and the power of the false god roared out, drowning the white-haired old man in the portal. Boom! The portal shattered with a loud bang. The white-haired old man's injuries were also worse. He looked at the 3 of them angrily and did not open the portal again. He turned into a divine rainbow and rushed underground. Chase after him. The deputy pavilion master said. Don't chase after him. This should have something to do with Qin Feiyang. Take advantage of this opportunity to kill all the combat emperors of the Mu family. Killing 1 is enough, killing 2 is worth it. Gongsun Bei said with a murderous aura. It has something to do with Qin Feiyang. This little bastard is quite capable. The 3 deputy pavilion masters looked at each other and immediately flew into the sky. They rushed toward the 1-star and 7-star combat emperors with murderous aura. Run! The master of the Mu family shouted anxiously. In the face of the three false gods, the 1-star and 7-star combat emperors did not dare to hesitate. They quickly turned around and ran. However, they were only combat emperors. How could they escape the pursuit of the false gods? Without a doubt. This was a massacre. Cries of agony could be heard everywhere. The entire Mu family was in despair. Back to Qin Feiyang. After breaking through the divine power enchantment, the divine light that Chang Shui emitted immediately dimmed. Although there was no brilliance, it was like an exquisite piece of art. It was pleasing to the eye. Qin Feiyang grabbed Chang Shui and landed beside the fire qilin. He raised his saber and slashed down. Following a few loud clanging sounds, the 4 chains made of divine gravity iron instantly broke. Without the restraint of the chains, the fire qilin's suppressed aura suddenly exploded. 5-star combat emperor. Qin Feiyang's pupils constricted and he asked, "Since you were captured and brought to the Mu family, have they been using the divine gravity iron to imprison you?" "Yes." The fire qilin nodded. "TSK, TSK, TSK." Qin Feiyang was speechless. The divine gravity iron could imprison the battle chi of living beings like a cripple. After being immobilized, one could not cultivate. Back then, when he first saw the fire qilin, according to Yan Wei, it should be a 2-star or 3-star combat emperor. However, he did not expect it to be able to break through to the 5-star combat emperor under the immobilization of the divine gravity iron. As if it could see the reason for Qin Feiyang's shock, the fire qilin explained, "Although the divine gravity iron can imprison living beings, in front of us divine beasts, especially divine beasts with noble bloodlines like me, it can't unleash its full power." "It can do that?" Qin Feiyang was shocked. "Yes. At most, it can only affect me by half. You should be able to do it now because I can feel the power of a divine beast's bloodline in your body. Furthermore, your bloodline power is giving me an enormous sense of oppression." The fire qilin curiously sized up Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang smiled and cut his fingertip. Purple gold dragon blood flowed out. "What? It's purple gold dragon blood." The fire qilin's body suddenly trembled. Its eyes were filled with disbelief as it said, "Are you the descendant of the purple gold divine dragon?" "Ah." Qin Feiyang was stunned. The descendant of the purple gold divine dragon. Didn't that mean that his original body was a purple gold divine dragon? Qin Feiyang shook his head and smiled, "I am a real human. How can I be the descendant of the purple gold divine dragon? How can a human have purple gold dragon blood?" The fire qilin shook its head in disbelief. Qin Feiyang said, "I don't know about that because my ancestors' bloodline power is also purple gold dragon blood." "That's strange." The fire qilin mumbled and looked at Qin Feiyang as if it was looking at a monster. But suddenly, a terrifying power came from above the cave. "Oh no! It's Mu Changfeng's aura." The fire qilin's expression changed. The snake pit also looked nervous. Qin Feiyang raised his head and looked up. The stone wall above the cave was trembling violently. Pieces of rock and soil kept falling down. That old thing must have thought that I couldn't break the barrier at first because he didn't stop me. But in the end, the barrier was broken by Chang Shui. I think he must have been shocked at this moment. Otherwise, he wouldn't have left the deputy pavilion masters and come for me. However, this has created a great opportunity for us. Qin Feiyang sneered. "What opportunity?" The snake pit and the fire qilin looked at him suspiciously. "A chance to escape." Chapter 1335. And just as Qin Feiyang entered the portal, the rocks and soil above the grotto collapsed and submerged the portal. But with just these rocks and soil, it's certainly impossible to destroy the portal. He stood in the portal and his figure quickly faded. Just as Qin Feiyang was about to be teleported away, the white-haired old man finally arrived. When he saw that the fire Qilin was gone, his eyes suddenly spat out a thick anger. With a wave of his hand, the rocks and soil that submerged the portal turned into dust and flew away, revealing the portal. But at this moment, not only was the portal already dissipating, but Qin Feiyang was also gone. "Little beast, I won't let you go." The white-haired old man roared and opened the portal and rushed in. Outside, Qin Feiyang appeared out of thin air above the holy mountain. When he saw the scene of the Vice Pavilion Lord and the other two slaughtering the Mu clan's battle emperors, even if he was used to bloody scenes, he couldn't help but break out in cold sweat. These three people were too savage, weren't they? Those cold eyes, vicious means, it feels like they're slaughtering livestock. Corpses are everywhere, and blood stains the mountains and rivers. "Don't kill, let's go." Qin Feiyang shouted coldly. He grabbed the token and flew toward the divine power barrier. "Huh!" Gongsun Bei and the Vice Pavilion Lord were taken aback. They looked up at Qin Feiyang and immediately chased after Qin Feiyang with the Mu clan's patriarch. With the token in hand, the barrier naturally can't trap everyone. Buzz! A light door quickly appeared. "Why is the token in your hand? Is Mu Yuan already?" When he saw the token, the Mu clan's patriarch trembled, his face was full of anger. "Do you still need to ask? Not only is Mu Yuan dead, I've also looted all the herbs in your herb field." Qin Feiyang sneered. Puff! When the Mu clan's patriarch heard this, he was so angry that he vomited blood. In the blink of an eye, just as the light door appeared, Mu Changfeng appeared in the void below. Damn it, just like Qin Feiyang, he couldn't help but feel his scalp go numb when he saw the blood-stained mountains and rivers and the ground littered with broken limbs. But at the same time, the anger in his heart was getting more and more uncontrollable. Whoosh! He suddenly raised his head and looked at Qin Feiyang and the others. "If I don't kill all of you today, this old man isn't human. Moreover, this old man will return the favor and slaughter everyone in your main tower." Mu Changfeng roared and soared into the sky, carrying with him a towering baleful aura as he chased after Qin Feiyang and the others. "Quick!" Qin Feiyang shouted. The old man's heart sank. He grabbed Qin Feiyang, Gongsun Bei, and the others, and rushed out of the light door. He didn't even look back. Once they left the divine power enchantment, they would be able to open a portal. But now, obviously, he couldn't open the portal. This was because opening a portal required a process. And with Mu Changfeng's cultivation, he could definitely catch up to them while they were opening the portal. Mu Zhangfeng chased them out of the divine power barrier. He didn't stop at all and continued to chase after them. The old man in black said, "No, he's too fast. If this continues, he'll catch up to us sooner or later." "Then what should we do?" The Vice Pavilion Master panicked. False gods cherish their lives more than ordinary people, especially someone like the Vice Pavilion Master who had just become a false god. Because it wasn't easy to become a false god and have a chance to become a true war god, who would be willing to die? Qin Feiyang looked back at Mu Changfeng and said, "We have to split up. This way, even if we die in the end, only one of us will die." The Vice Pavilion Master, the old man in black, and the other old man all fell silent. This was because they knew that if they really did as Qin Feiyang said, one of them would definitely be the bait to lure Mu Changfeng away. After all, Qin Feiyang and Gongsun Bei were only war gods. If they were the bait, they would definitely die. As for the three of them, with their strength as false gods, they might have a chance. However, they didn't want to take the risk. This was because they didn't have the confidence to face Mu Changfeng alone. Suddenly, the old man in black's eyes flashed and he asked, "Qin Feiyang, where are the mysterious lady and the others in the endless ocean?" Qin Feiyang glanced at him and sneered, "Asking me this question at this time, isn't it obvious that you have ulterior motives? What do you mean? The old man in black panicked, but he pretended to be calm and asked. In Mu Changfeng's eyes, he hates me more than he hates your main tower. You know this too. So, you want to use me as bait to lure Mu Changfeng away. After all, to your main tower, if I'm killed by Mu Changfeng, you'll have one less big problem. However, you want to take back the divine crystals. That's the key. Without me, you won't be able to find the mysterious lady and the others. Of course. With your main tower's ability, if you really want to find them, you'll definitely find them sooner or later. But by then, the battle with the mysterious lady and the others will be over. When the battle is over, your hope of snatching the divine crystals will naturally be lost. That's why you asked me where the mysterious lady and the others are without batting an eyelid. Your purpose is to get the coordinates from me. As long as you have the coordinates, then I'll be equivalent to a chess piece that has lost its value and can be abandoned at any time. Tell me, am I right? Qin Feiyang looked at the old man in black mockingly. The old man in black was shocked. This little bastard's brain and eyesight were too terrifying. He actually saw through all his thoughts. Although I'm much younger than you in terms of age, you'd better not play these little tricks in front of me. Because your IQ is not enough. Qin Feiyang didn't hide his mockery. The old man in black immediately became angry and transmitted his voice to the deputy pavilion master and the others. Give me a suggestion. I agree with your idea. Leave Qin Feiyang behind. As for the divine crystals, we'll slowly find a chance to get them back later. The deputy pavilion master said without hesitation. Another old man said, I also agree. Anyway, this time, the Mu clan's vitality has been greatly damaged. We've also vented our anger. Qin Feiyang glanced at the three, and a shocking light flashed in the depths of his eyes. He smiled and said, Don't flirt with each other. I'll tell you the coordinates. What? The three looked at Qin Feiyang in surprise. They even wondered if they were hallucinating. If we continue to run, we'll all die. It doesn't matter if I die, but you're all fake gods. It'll be terrible if you die. So, I'm willing to lead Mu Changfeng away. It's a sacrifice for the greater good. But I have a condition. Qin Feiyang said. What condition? The old man in black asked. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed with murderous intent. You must help me kill the mysterious lady. Otherwise, I won't be able to rest in peace. Okay, I promise you. The old man in black nodded. The mysterious lady was the target of their tower's eradication. Even if Qin Feiyang didn't say it, they would find a way to get rid of her. Qin Feiyang sneered secretly and directly gave the coordinates to the old man in black. Are these coordinates real? The old man in black was skeptical. Won't you know when you get there? Qin Feiyang said. He shouldn't lie to me. Gongsun Bei looked at the old man in black and said. Then, he said to Qin Feiyang, What are you planning? I don't believe you'll be so kind. Don't think too badly of me, okay? If I'm really that kind of inhumane and heartless person, why would I give young Master Hao and Wang Yu her potential pills? Qin Feiyang said secretly. Gongsun Bei still didn't believe it. He felt that there was something wrong here, but he couldn't see through Qin Feiyang. The deputy pavilion master said, Since the coordinates are real, don't hesitate anymore. Okay. The old man in black nodded and looked at Qin Feiyang. He sneered and said, Then you're on your own. After saying that, he directly left Qin Feiyang and left with Gongsun Bei and the others. You're on your own, don't be complacent too early. The good show is yet to come, Qin Feiyang murmured. Looking at their backs, the sarcasm in his eyes was undisguised. Then. He didn't run away. He turned his head and looked at Mu Changfeng. Because there was nowhere to run. There was only one exit. At the same time. Seeing Qin Feiyang stay alone, a trace of surprise flashed in Mu Changfeng's eyes. Whoosh! He stopped in front of Qin Feiyang and said gloomily, "You still dare to stay, aren't you afraid that I will kill you?" "Since I dare to stay, naturally I'm not afraid. Because I know that no matter what I do to your Mu clan, you won't kill me." "You won't kill me," Qin Feiyang said with a faint smile. He had nothing to fear. Mu Changfeng looked gloomy. Qin Feiyang looked at Mu Changfeng's expression and smiled. "It seems that my guess is true." "What guess?" Mu Changfeng said in a deep voice. "I'm still useful in the eyes of your Mu clan." "No, no. This is far more than your value. Because if I'm just useful, your Mu clan won't be so restrained in front of me. If I'm not wrong, your Mu clan should need me to do something for you," Qin Feiyang said lightly. Mu Changfeng's pupils shrank. Qin Feiyang curiously said, "I'm really curious, what is it that I have to do?" "Ha!" Mu Changfeng took a deep breath. "I admit, I really won't kill you now. You have the castle, I can't trap you. But you have to remember, in this world, there are many people who are more capable than you. You, Qin Feiyang, want to be a chess player and control the game of chess, but you're not qualified. That's all I have to say, you're on your own now." After Mu Zhangfeng finished speaking, he brushed past Qin Feiyang. His hands were tightly clenched together. Obviously, he was trying to control the killing intent in his heart. In his view, Qin Feiyang was just an ant. Even with the castle, he was confident that he could kill Qin Feiyang before Qin Feiyang entered the castle. But, for some reason, he had to let go of Qin Feiyang. His heart was sullen to the extreme. Qin Feiyang certainly could see it, but he didn't take it to heart. In this world, there were too many people who wanted to kill him, but now, wasn't he still alive? He turned his head and looked at Mu Changfeng's back, lightly said. "Where are you going? Aren't you asking the obvious?" "Of course, I'm going to kill the people from the tower." You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.